Rarely is that opening more appropriate than tonight, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Always big shout out to the great Stone Loki for that. And I thank the great Stone Loki for that wonderful opening he made for me. Welcome, everyone, to Clobberin Times issue number. Well, 215 on YouTube, but 915 overall. And it is Monday night Mark C Comics Talk, starting a bit an hour later than usual. But that's going to be that's kind of a flexible time spot. Saturday night's not flexible, but Monday and Wednesday can be. For example, next week show will be way earlier than this one. In fact, 2 hours earlier than the usual 8 one, so Central. But tonight we're starting an hour later, I actually would like to probably move to this time slot eventually for Monday nights anyway. So good to see you all here with us tonight. Oh man, look who's here. The great Steve Mitchum, brother. What's up? D-Bud. All right, D-Bud Martin, Fathom Outsider, Snortopoopus. I can't do it like Raquel does.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yep.
Nobody can. That's right. We have the great Chris Persia was here also. And Hungry Boy. Hey there, Hungry Boy. Good to see you there. And whoever else has popped in, we'll say hello accordingly. But I'm going to welcome my great guests for this evening. This is you can't do a show about Marvel 2-in-1 without making it a 2-in-1.
We're going to team up on this one.
Well, last week was team up, but there were 3 of us, but that's okay because it's called team up. But this was 2-in-1, so
2-in-1. Yep.
Yeah, it's just got to be 2, and it's the 2 things. So.
Let's see if I got my. There's my thing background. It worked. All right.
Damn you! Well, you're always going to make me jealous and shit, dude.
With the hat, I gotta get one of these hats.
Not just the hat, the background. Jeez, dude, it's greatness.
So those are that issue. We'll talk about it. But that issue to my right, your left, I guess, the annual is probably one of my favorite all-time comics. But we'll get to that one. But just appreciate you having me here tonight, and we can enjoy talking about probably our my favorite character. I'm guessing probably yours or
probably. You
probably.
You should know me well enough by now. Yeah, Chris Persia, just glad you're here, buddy. Hope you're feeling well. J-Man was here earlier, by the way, and J-Man will be my guest next week. In fact, I'll just go ahead and make show notes right now so I can talk about that a little bit. But let's see here. Okay, showy notes. As you know, this is we're in the midst of our series, the great comic book team up titles. Week 1 was World's Finest, even though it was only just me because Carlos was not able to make it. But Carlos, my good friend Carlos, did join me for week 2. We're doing them in chronological order, of course. Brave and the Bold, and it was a lot of fun talking that title with him. And then this past week, the great Mark D with a C and my great buddy Flash joined me for Marvel team ups, and I had a great time talking about that one. We all know. Yep. On tap for tonight. Yep, Marvel 2-in-1, and a week from tonight at a special time, which will be 7 Eastern. So in other words, it'll be 6 Central, because of the man, my good buddy J-Man, who said he probably had to run out, but I think he'd be listening to this one on a down. If you're listening, J-Man, 6 p.m. Central, so 7 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a little bit earlier, but it'll be DC Comics Presents the 5th of the great team up books. And Wednesday night, I'll do my Clobby's Comics Corner roundup stream, which is kind of my series of videos, Clobby's Comics Corner. I'll just do a little stream about that and other stuff, but I'll touch on that a little bit and tell you a little recap of the month of September, because my October Clobby's Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine video will debut. Actually, technically still in September. It'll be Wednesday, but it's for the month of October. But that night, we'll do a little stream about the September videos. And so that's what we got going on there. The Global Geek Gang shall gather Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. And, that's that. And again, all hail the great Mark C. As always, this show and all of the shows we do on Monday nights that are dedicated to comics are dedicated to our good buddy, Mark C., who is with us in spirit because he loves comics, and he'd definitely been hanging out with, not for this show in particular. I know he'd have been in the chat hanging, and he'd have been. We had all these shows we wanted to do, and we always miss him. So, Steve Mitchum says there is a Catwoman, true. A black cat, true. Wildcat, true. Thundercats, even a Catman. Why are there no dog-themed superheroes? Crypto, Ace, don't count. There are actual dogs.
We had Dynamite.
But again, if he's talking actual dogs, though, so
yeah.
Dog-based superhero. There is one, but he's not really. It's technically yes and no. I mean, there may be a couple of others that have to think about it. Someone might be able to think of one, but there was a TV show back in the early '90s that featured Bob Newhart. After in the '70s, he did the show called the Bob Newhart Show. In the '80s, he did the brilliant show Newhart, and then he did a show called Bob, on which he played a comic book artist who had been famous for a comic book back in the '50s called Mad Dog, and they were doing a revival. This show was really fun. Didn't last long. I have it on DVD. It was a lot of fun. It was hilarious. And he was working for this comic book company, reviving his old character. It was called Mad Dog, like I said. And there was even an episode that had Jack Kirby, that idiot Bob Kane, Sergio Aragonés, had the Image guys at the time, Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri and I think Rob Leftfield and these guys.
As guests, right?
All guested in an episode. Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw that. But it was a funny show. And so that there was a Mad Dog there. Is Timberwolf sort of based on a dog from the Legion?
Well, originally Lockjaw, I heard a rumor that Lockjaw was originally going to be a mutated, actually be a person that was mutated by the Terrigen Mist.
There you go.
I read that somewhere, but we got Lockjaw, but I guess Lockjaw's his own kind of character. And of course, Underdog.
Right. Underdog.
Mom had to hide all her pills.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Yeah, but not in the Marvel universe. Is there anyone in the Marvel or DC universe?
No, Nort. Well, Phantom Outsider brings up Nort again. Not a character that is a dog or even a sentient dog that's anthropomorphic, but as far as the dog motif, like a man, using dog. I'm trying to think. Mad Dog is just. Well, they're all
Animal Man would have powers.
Animal Man, yeah. Well, remember they also did a Mad Dog comic book. Wolves aren't actually dogs, but yeah, I guess Timberwolf doesn't count.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, you'd think there'd be more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dog superheroes. Come on, Google.
Yeah, so Mad Dog is created for the Bob Newhart show. Now, Marvel did do a comic of that, by the way, for a short time, which was kind of funny. So,
yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, Nort is a Green Lantern, and he is sort of like a dog, obviously, but he's not. He's an anthropomorphic dog, sort of like along the lines you were talking about with Underdog and things like that.
Yeah.
Red Wolf is again. Wolves aren't necessarily, Oh, a Werewolf by Night is kind of a good one there, Phantom, because the guy's name is Jack Russell.
Hyperdog. I've just Googled, but I've never heard of Hyperdog. Sergeant Kemlo Caesar is a super intelligent Doberman in an exosuit. What comic is that?
There is Dalgota. He's anthropomorphic though. Anyway.
Yep. Good question. Yep.
Good question that we will tackle in another time.
The dog episode.
Yeah, we'll do a dog comics episode. Anyway, Marvel 2-in-1, folks. I love it. Well, again, it's low hanging fruit, really, because it's the thing, and I love him, and I can't. Obviously, I was already in love with the Thing and the Fantastic Four before I started even knowing what comic books were on a rack. So I loved them when they were. The '67 cartoon was my first exposure to them, and then the Power Records, which was sort of a comic. So I've loved the character. He's my favorite character, and I've loved the Fantastic Four. So but I still can't nail down to you. I mean, the comic came out around 70. Oh hell, what was it?
I'm cheating. I'm a Wikipedia, so 74 to 83.
It was Marvel Feature first.
Yeah, Marvel Feature. Yep, 11 and 12.
Right, it was Marvel Feature, and let's see. Here we go. In fact, I'll let me do a little screen sharing here. Any of you who do happen to be, by the way, a fan of Marvel 2-in-1, I highly recommend Hey, Kogi Pan. Hello there. A blog. Where are you? Let me share this. Okay. There's a blog that I highly recommend that I love. I've always loved it. And again, it's like it's one from the old school blogs, right? Called basically the ever loving Blue Eye blog or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, like it was the guy wrote it in HTML code, basically. Yep.
Yeah, and it's
Classic old timer.
It's quite primitive, as you can see. Hello, it's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Hello there, Courtney. It's good to see you. Thank you. I'm thanks for popping. I appreciate it. This is a great. I mean, this is as extensive a coverage as you can get, I think anyway, on this particular comic. It started in Marvel Feature 11, as you can see, and it's really thorough because what I love about this blog, Mark, not only does it obviously show you the cover, and tells you who the guest stars are, obviously gives you credits, Lynn Wein, Jim Starlin, Joe Center, the credits for the art, the story and such. He gives you a little rating system right there. This one gets a half a thing face. It looks like
half a thing. Yeah.
I mean, Jim Starlin,
awesome.
And you're only giving it that, dude. But I love the fact it shows you who the villain is, who the guest star is, and it's the Hulk. Guest shots, who appeared in it, synopsis of the story, and then if whether or not he says Clobberin time in this one. He also lets you know if Aunt Petunia is referenced.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Then you go to it's got them all. It's got, again, like I said, of course, Marvel Feature 11 and 12, as we mentioned, were the genesis of this title. And
they said that did so well. That was like a test case. It did so well that then they decided to give the thing a feature.
Around.
And I think the thing was probably probably one of the more popular Marvel superheroes back. I was born in '68, so I think you got Spider-Man and probably the Thing were probably. I'm remembering as a kid, I thought the Thing was probably, from talking to friends, was always a really popular character. You had Spidey, X-Men were hitting it big, but that was a little bit later. I think early '70s. The X-Men were on weren't they on reprints at that point? I think.
Yes, they were still reprints.
And then when was the first X-Men? 94. When was that?
94. Well, actually, Giant Size X-Men came a little bit before that one, but it was 75-ish, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
You know how I am with years. I muddled my years up. Yeah. But hello there. Let's see, Oliver Belmonte. Good to see you.
But yeah, for reference, I guess, because people today, like, the Thing, I don't, unfortunately is not, he's a popular character, but not, nothing like he was back then, I think, in terms of, people knowing who he was and kids wearing T-shirts and saying Clobberin time. And he actually did end up getting a horrible cartoon, which maybe we won't mention, but he was a very popular.
Nobody mentions it.
Yeah, we'll erase that one from our collective memories. Yep, but it's. But I think that's part of the reason why why he got his own series, because Spider-Man had his own team up title, and then the Thing had his team up title because of his popularity. So. Well,
Phantom Outsider is spoiling something. Thanks a lot, dude. I thought we'd have fun showing that, but no. At least Mark had the double take when I told you about that. What he's saying in the chat, I don't know if you saw it.
Let's see. I was looking for something interwebs.
Look, Phantom Outsider did no cursing around here. Even then, he insult to injury, but do your thing.
No,
bonk on the head, Phantom Outsider.
Yeah, we love you. Yeah. I mean, I was like so excited. I'm like, oh, the Thing's gonna have his own series, and I thought it was gonna be like Marvel 2-in-1 with other Marvel heroes. And I'm like, there's a young kid, and then there's a car. He was driving a car around, and then he said, what a revolting development it is. As Steve Mitchum saying to repeat that line.
Well, he's like, you know what that quote is from?
Nope.
An old TV show called The Life of Riley, which the first season had Jackie Gleason, but then it was William Bendix. At the end of every episode, you would wait for him to look at the camera and go, "What a revolting development this is!" And so that's one of the Benji Grimm is quoting William Bendix. Wonderful first officer Raquel. We know you got your hands full. That's okay. You don't need to type. We love you, and just
Hey,
glad
Raquel.
to see you. Just glad to see you, love. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, look at the terrible scan he got of that number cover, that number 12.
Yeah, it's not so good yet.
Yeah, but I love this. I really do love this blog. I mean, years ago I reached out to him to try to get him to come on my show way back when, and he was very nice about it, but he doesn't do that kind of thing, which is cool. I understand. But anyway,
he did that great website for us. So
yeah, and I'll put the link.
So that's much appreciated. Yeah.
Let me put the link in the chat here. Any of you ever if you're a Marvel 2-in-1 fan, hopefully that link will work. Yeah.
Those issues are actually kind of valuable. Well, not. I mean, I'm seeing. I got my comic book program. So
Marvel
issue
features?
11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 11 is saying $75, and then 12 is saying $68. So, hey, not bad for the thing. Hey, getting some. And those issues were $9.73, and $11.73 was the issue 12. Yep.
Yeah. So what we'll do is sort of similar to what we were doing last week, of course, folks, as well. Let's kind of clomp down memory lane a little bit by showing you some of the covers. We'll show you all of the covers because thanks to the great Mark D with a C, we've got them all, and they're easy to find in this case. As soon as I can share it, that is. I'll need you to help me, to direct me because remember I can't see.
I can't see what's
the damn thing.
I can't see him yet. But I use comic base software to collect to catalog my collection. So I always give a plug for comic base. So that's where I got the images from. So what's great about comic base, if you have an image or a scan of a comic, you upload it and everyone shares all the images together. So and then you can just just download them and you have them on your file on your computer. So it's a nice way to. And then you can do. There's actually a screensaver that goes with it, which is pretty cool too. So you can have the screensaver of all your comic images there.
Are you seeing it?
Let me check here. Let's see. It went black now. I was working before the show when we did a pre-test. Are you sharing the?
Yeah. Well, wait. Let's see. Let's do it. Something's wrong here. I don't know. Why'd it go black?
Yeah. What?
Let me try it again.
Let's try again. And if not, I can always share them on mine if we have to. But you had it working before though. Technical difficulties. We're going to clobber our computers.
What is wrong with this damn thing? No, that ain't going to work, is it? Okay. I think All right. Let me go back. Just a second.
Yeah, Phantom has pointed out. Yeah, it says that's a typo. Yeah, issue 1 says Marvel 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Clobbering time. Yeah.
Kind of wanted to show it as a surprise, but.
Yep.
Guess I'm never going to get anything past the Phantom Outsider.
Nope, he knows his stuff. Yep.
Let's see here. Come on, man! I had this thing.
Yeah, it was working before. Yep.
No, I know.
You're sharing a window, right?
I had to take it off a bit to put it back up. Let's see.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Sorry about that, everybody.
We'll get it.
Had this thing set up. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's fun to see all those covers together. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me see.
Shazam.
Share. There we go. How about now?
Eureka. You got it. Yep.
Can you see it okay? All right.
We can see it.
Right.
Yep.
All right. There we go. I can't see you, but I can see the covers. So there we go.
That's who you want to see anyway. You don't need to see us. Yep.
All right. Well, I can see the chat, though. I can't see you, sir, but I can see the covers. Yes, as you can see, Marvel 2-on-1 number 1. I don't have the we're not worrying about dates or anything like that. One of the things about this series is it started out written by, of course, Steve Gerber. Yes, the creator not only of Man-Thing, but of course Howard the Cluck. And
yeah.
Look, Steve was a weirdo, folks. Let's just be honest. Phantom Outsider is second to none in his knowledge. By the way, I put him up there with the greats. Well, he'd certainly be up there close to my friend Carlos, who is let's see, didn't we used to say this about people sometimes, Steve? Carlos is a walking encyclopedia. Unfortunately, he's also a talking encyclopedia. But yes, when it comes to comics, he is. See, I have gaps and I forget crap all the time. I get stuff mixed up all the time. Carlos could tell you crap that he read in a comic in 1991, for example, would pick the year 87, 90, whatever, as a kid, even in the 80s. Everything about some story he read in a comic. Now he's getting older up there with the rest of us.
Yep. That's impressive, though, yeah.
But he, yeah. I have to read it like 50,000 times just to remember. But he can tell you all this details and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's why I bring him on all the time.
Well, when you've read about 15,000 comics, like they all get jumbled together in my brain. So, like, and then if someone like Phantom's in the chat and kind of put you in the right direction, or you mentioned something like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what happened. But I always I always try to, was that the Clone Saga or was that the, but certain ones stick in your brain though, like the Annual 7 or the ones you've read. That's true too. Like some of the issues I read as a kid, and you read them over and over and over. When you're older and you're reading monthlies, back to back to back, you can you get the storyline, but you forget maybe certain issues, and you're reading so many more comics too. So, well, that's my excuse.
No, look, I mean, hey, I just have a garbage memory, so that's my excuse. Zach, what's up? Good to see you, Zach. But here's the thing about that. I just see, I've already forgotten what I was going to say, but no, I just have a terrible memory for this stuff. And one of the things I've said about the chats of my channel for sure, I could only really, but even some of the other ones that I've watched, of channels that I watch, if you, and this has happened like even the big channels like our buddy Doomcock or Gary, whomever, if you can't remember something, or something just not in your wheelhouse, is something you really have a great memory of, or you don't remember it. If you have more than 5 geeks, if you have more, my rule is going to be the 8 to 10 geeks. If you got 8 to 10 legit geeks in there, you're covered. Someone's going to know it.
Yep. Oh yeah, someone will remember. Yep.
If it's Trek, one of us is going to remember it. If it's a comic, we got guys like Phantom or D-Bud, and of course we had our beloved our beloved Mark C.
He knew his stuff good.
Yeah. I mean, just whomever whoever it is, they just know their stuff. Whether it's Star Trek, whether it's Doctor Who, whatever the hell it is, there's going to be somebody there who's gonna. I mean, I think I'm gonna just put the number at 10, but it can be less than 10. It could be, if you got 8 legit geeks there, because they're varied interests. Somebody's gonna have it.
Yep.
Somebody
will remember in my group, growing up, like it was my buddy Rob or Justin, like always remembered a movie quote. Like I'd butcher them, and they'd get them like exact word for word. And my buddy Justin, he had like a memory like that where he heard a song once, he knew the lyrics. Wouldn't forget the lyrics. So, Phantom Outsider saying, I went through my books getting them ready for auction, 26K plus. I've never owned a store, LOL, but I said, yeah, that is a store. 26,000 books. That's a store, dude. Yeah, that's what the comic book shop I used to go to in Stanford, and everyone asked Paul, who was a great guy, where do you keep your collection? He'd wave his arms wide. He's like, this is my collection. It's for sale. Buy whatever you want. That's the owner. Yeah.
Well, this is we both did not get a chance to reread a lot of these but we thanks to you, I was able to read some, and I have some various formats, whether I have the physicals or some and now digitals and stuff, and thanks to a certain superhero named Mark D with a C. But we were talking about how we both got to read this first issue, Marvel 2-on-1 number 1. Written again, as I said, everyone, by Steve Gerber. Now, what I do love is the art is fantastic in the first 2 issues by the great Gil Kane and, of course, the great Joe Sinnott inking him, which is a wonderful combination. I love the art in it, but one of the things that we were both talking about, because I have not read this particular issue of this comic book, folks. It's got to be since the mid '80s, probably, since I finally probably tracked it down and bought it at some point. When I was trying to buy all of those. I can't remember. I mean, because when it hit the rack, I don't think I bought. I can't remember the first issue I bought of 2-in-1. I remember it when I see it probably. But
Yep.
Steve Gerber's a nut job in this issue. I mean, so you forget. Again, not being Carlos, I did forget how preposterous not so much the story is, but the script is, and the characterization of Ben J. Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, my all-time favorite character in this comic. Rest Steve Gerber's soul. If I met him if I read this comic like 5 minutes before I met him, I'd probably smack him upside the head.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was ridiculous.
Ben is horrible in this thing, and what I mean by that is he is written like, "Hey, Stuart Mitchell, good to see you." The thing, Ben Grimm is written like a complete and utter jackass in this comic book. I mean, he's always supposed to be grumpy and a smart aleck, and yeah, that's kind of, part of his charm and his character. He's a grumpy Gus,
Yep.
He's always complaining about stuff. Oh, that's fine. But he's kind of nasty in this one.
It's a jerk in this one. Yeah. I mean, I want to, if that was an intro to the character, I would have been like, whoa.
He's a bully in this one.
Well, I don't know if you want to, if it'll mess you up, but I could show one or two panels from it if you want to.
I'm sure if you want to.
Yeah,
just how it would.
Let's see here if I share it, because I have the book open, so here I could share just this one. I know we don't want to show the whole thing.
I don't think you could show a whole thing, but
just to give you an idea, we don't want to get in trouble with copyright, but yeah, but you can see here, he reads that the man thing.
The story's stupid coverage. Too, by the way.
Yeah, it's a stupid story.
It's a stupid premise.
And then he's mad. He's mad that someone's using the moniker "the Thing," and then he's like,
the man thing, yeah,
man thing, yeah. And then he's wrecking the guy's store here. So he's like, "Stop! You're wrecking." Like Ben Grimm would never do that to go, especially where he grew up on, as a
Yancey Street,
working class Yancey Street kid. He's not gonna do that. And I'll just show a couple quick.
There's
pages,
so much stupid about this story.
Yeah, and he's yelling at the guy, and then at the end he's threatening him. He's like, he doesn't have enough money to pay for the issue, and he's like, or pay for the ticket. And he wants to go take on the man thing, and he's like, doesn't my credit count?
Yes, for those. Well, I'll tell everyone this: for the previous 2 issues of the Marvel feature, he didn't, for some reason, he was transported by cargo or whatever it was in issue 11 out into the Arizona desert to fight the Hulk, and I think the leader was in there. It's been a while since I've read that one also. And then the second one, he ended up teaming up with Iron Man or something along those lines. And then he's out in Arizona, and here's the first dumb bit before you get to that right there. Why doesn't he call Reed to come get him in the Fantastic Car? Why would he have to take a bus? Why would the Thing, who is rich, the Fantastic Four are bazillionaires, let's face it. Why in the hell does he have to take a bus? Only so Steve Gerber can be a dumbass. Part 2 of dumbness is, hey there, Pugwaddle. He's got to, he goes into this, he sees the paper, and he's mad because there's a being called the Man Thing, which is a character, no jokes, folks, no obvious low-hanging fruit jokes, is a character, of course, from that time, whoever knows fear burns with the touch of the Man Thing.
And not related to Swamp Thing in any way, shape, or form.
Other than being a ripoff of him. But, and he was. I know, like, Flash loves Man Thing and all that stuff. Just saying, he was kind of a rip. But anyway, so you have Man Thing, who is done. I mean, okay, you're called the Thing. He's called Man Thing. I don't see that as a ripoff. And, he's going to take a bus to Florida
to fight him
for a couple of days. Then he breaks in. Then he goes in this guy's shop and is all hostile and bullying and belligerent and treats the old guy like crap. And scares the crap out of the poor old dude. I'm like, this is not my thing. Not the Thing at all.
Yeah, the guy says, I've been a good man, religious man. I've done an honest business here for 41 years. Why did you send him to me, Lord? It's like, the Thing's a hero.
It's not
the
funny.
Thing would protect the guy. Yeah, I'm just laughing at how idiotic.
No, I'm not telling you. I'm telling they think this is funny. Roy Thomas, I love you, guy. You're the editor.
Not funny.
You should not have let Steve Gerber write that.
Yeah, that's totally out of character. I just show one last page, I guess. Just
but like I said, I wasn't talking to you. I was saying, it's played for laughs,
and it's not funny. Yeah, and he's on the bus, and people are getting upset on the bus, and it's really, really ridiculous. The way that, and that's not. No one would love a character like that. The Thing's not a bully. That's the charm of the character. Is he looks like a monster, but he's got a heart of gold and. Would never hurt anyone. So
grumpy and wisecracking. Yeah, about it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and he might have been like gruff with the guy, but he wouldn't have been scared him or anything like that. You know, you could have made him being like gruff and first of all, it's still a dumb premise. I'm gonna ride a bus for 2.5 days to Florida so I can
To
start a
fight the
fight
man.
with a guy called the Man thing. Not even the thing, like he stole his name. Gerber, you're a moron, dude. Well,
So
I know. Rest his
thumbs
soul.
down on this issue from both Clobberin Times and May.
Let me
And
see. Let me see what's his name rated. I can't
oh
believe
yeah,
this
how did
guy
he rate
gave
it?
it three. He gave it three thing heads. This is a shitty story, dude.
No. Well, maybe
Yeah,
because it's the first issue, maybe he rated it
I know.
higher.
I don't know. I
The
mean, it's
art's
just in the
good. The
picture.
art's great. I mean, that's
The
a
art's
great
wonderful.
That's a great panel of the thing there. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
well done. Plus,
Yeah.
have the thing fit on a bus seat. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he fit in a bus seat. So then, yeah, I mean, you can't send the pogo plane. Exactly. Exactly. Phantom Outsider. So, so here you go. You got the thing, and then you move to you go to this planet where somehow the Molecule Man stranded on this other planet after the last time the Fantastic Four kicked his ass, and said he was put there by the Watcher or something. What do you mean the Watcher? Why would he do that?
Yeah.
And he was aging. He's already had a kid because the age of time moves differently there. And his kid, he just sends his kid to go avenge him on Earth, and he just happens to land in Florida. Just happened to be where Ben is going to look for Man Thing for no reason, and they fight. And he fights with Man Thing a little bit, which is stupid. And then Molecule Man Jr. shows up, and he changes Ben. I mean, back to real human Ben, and he changes Man Thing back to Ted Sallis. And that's the only kind of interesting part of this comic for me is there where it's kind of interesting that you get to see Ted Sallis come back, and he doesn't know what's happened to him because he doesn't. He's turned into the Man Thing. He has no mind.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we don't want to. Well, here, let me stop sharing. I'll just flip. I don't want to flip through all the pages. We'll show one panel from that maybe. So I'll go because then otherwise we.
Can't show much. You can show covers. I think you could show covers.
Oh, you can show a page or two. But you just can't show the whole. You can't show the whole thing. Maybe just show one panel from that. Just so.
Yeah, I always hated it in the comics, even back then when the FF would take a commercial flight somewhere. Then they did it a lot. It was stupid because I'm like,
yeah, you guys have a
plane
and everything. Yeah,
you have a spaceship, you have a fantastic car. But anyway,
yeah,
the Molecules Man's. Well, he figured out how to affect living matter. That was Gerber's dumb excuse. Again, I love Roy Thomas, but I think sometimes, dude, why would you let this happen? Well, again, Phantom Outsider. Like I know Gerber, it was dumb for Gerber to do that, but Roy Thomas was the editor. He should have known better, and he even I don't know.
Yeah, people miss things, or just you wonder how busy they are, and they
he's commenting all through the book though.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general, like sometimes people miss things, or just let that go. But yeah, this was totally out of character, and I was shocked at how out of character it was when I reread it. I was like, whoa. But
it's really bad.
There are some other good. Obviously, there's good episodes. We love the series.
A lot of great issues.
Yeah. But this one is this one was a stinker, a clunk, and it's mainly because of the story and the art. The art, that panel is really really cool. I don't know if you want to show that one panel with Ben as human again, but that's really, and he's
I like that. Oliver Belmonte, because Thing Hulk battles are fantastic. One of the wonderful things about comics. That's why they fought, because there were a couple of bruisers that just like to beat on each other. That's why I love them. But go ahead. He asked, but he said he never understood why the Thing and Hulk would occasionally brawl with each other, because they're brawlers. That's why. That's what they do.
Yep.
Apollo meets Minion. Hey, go ahead.
And yeah, we always wanted to see the two strongest characters fight, right? Yep. Yeah. It's up. Yep. So you always wanted to see those two fight. I mean, maybe Thor was up there. Of course, I always thought the Thing was the strongest, but I'm biased, obviously.
Yeah, and again, Oliver. Yeah, I guess I don't know if you ever read comics as a youngster, but one of the things, and it's not just me, but maybe it's not everyone either. But one of the things as a kid that you'd love to see was superheroes duking it out, and then becoming friends and helping each other. But always, superhero battles were just part of the fun for us,
Yep. Well, the second issue was the second or third with Namor. They get into a fight. Thing and Namor. It's the classic. Yeah, get in a fight, and then team up together to go against another big bad, that's threatening everyone else. So it's
So this was kind of getting turned back into Ben, and him getting turned, the Man-Thing getting turned back into Ted Sallis was probably the most interesting bit of the book. It's still a stupid story.
Yeah.
How about the ending? Oh my God. Spoiler alert, everyone. It's a 40-year-old, it's a 50-year-old, 45-year-old comic book.
73, 45,
45-year-old comic book. So freaking they, he how he beats Molecule Man Jr. by throwing a piece of mud onto the wand, and it falls off, and he ages fast because it was keeping his age intact, which was dumb. And then he couldn't get the wand to turn him back into Ben Grimm or Man-Thing back into Ted Sallis. So he just gives it to this little kid and lets this little kid walk up with the Molecule Man's science piece of wand that can make you like the most powerful being. You don't bring that back to Reed, maybe?
Yeah.
How about the guy that Molecule Man Jr. killed by turning him into make him look like Reed?
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
Murdered him. He murdered him in that comic, and that's what that did piss the thing off.
Yeah, finally.
This is a stupid story. I mean, he let a little kid walk away with a wand that could theoretically give you like ultimate power.
That kid looks like Chucky to me. He gave it to Chucky.
Yeah, he does. Gil had a tendency to draw kids all pretty much the same.
Look what he gave me. Yeah. And the one good part, like you said, was Ted Sallis had no memory of his time as Man-Thing, which was kind of scary and sad too at the same time. So he's got he didn't know what happened. So he really doesn't know what happened. He doesn't know what's happened.
He doesn't know what happened. Yeah. But now Ben knows who he is.
Yeah. And he's not mad at him for stealing his name, I guess, anymore.
No, he's not mad at poor old. Yeah. It was a freaking stupid look. Everyone, I'm tongue in cheek when we're making fun of this because it's still we love it, and just comics were really written shoddily and really written goofy crap back then in terms of the writing. Sometimes they were really campy. A lot of there's no getting away from it. All these guys, some of them were very talented. They were very well read, but the editorial staff at Marvel told these guys to write the way they were. It was inbred writing. They were told to write like Stan. And word you, and that's why when you read these comics that are years after Stan left and he was out in California soaking up the sun at this point, these writers and the editors who worked, all of them, Stan brought them all in, and they're all just trying to write like Stan, and so you're going to get a lot of goofy writing. Whether you love those old comics or not, they were pretty sick. And some of the prose used here in the captions and stuff like that. Gerber has been a talented or acclaimed writer at times. I liked his Defenders. I loved Howard the Duck, but some of this stuff the writing is cringy, boy.
Yeah,
I love this comic.
Yeah, you wonder what what the reasoning for that was, but they changed direction, thankfully, so we get some good issues. So
yeah,
but yeah, that was so that's a clunker, guys.
Yeah, buddy. So now we have is that coming up? Can you see that?
So yeah, there. Yep, we got it. Yep.
Okay. Issue number 2 by the same art team, at least. Thank goodness. I didn't get a chance. It's been a long time since I read all this one, but if you've read it recently, this is where he introduced the Wondar plot. We're going to go through these quicker like we did last week. We're just kind of touching on the beginnings of the comic because it was still, there were, other than a few threads that Gerber put in there wasn't a lot of continuity later after he left the book.
Yeah, that's the one thing I kind of like about these kind of series too, where you can just pick up a book and read it and not have to, have, maybe like the beginning ones, a few of them are linked together, or they say, and last issue, Ben was fighting, Wondar, and here's, kind of explaining why, where he is in the world or what's happening, but you really don't have, they're pretty much standalone stories for the most part. You don't have to read read them all in order. So, which is nice too. I kind of miss that about comics.
Well, like Phantom Outsider said, Wondar, they just forgot Wondar, then they brought him back, and then he got turned into Aquarian. It's kind of like a Superman type of analog in a sense.
Well, that's what was hysterical about this one. So they're describing it's Superman's origin where Krypton doesn't blow up, basically. So
right,
the father's a scientist.
Yeah,
yeah. So his father, it was like tongue in cheek. So the father says, their planet, I can't remember the name of the planet, is going to blow up, and but the planet doesn't blow up, but they still send their son away, send their son off to Earth. So and he gets he has superpowers. But, basically it's Superman, but not Superman. So the father was in trouble, for causing trouble on the planet. So I guess these aliens are after the son because he's a troublemaker basically. They're worried about him causing an uprising on the planet. So it's really it's tongue in cheek when you're reading it. It's pretty hysterical how the setup goes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's you're still seeing the cover, right? I just want to make sure because
Yep. We can still see the cover. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely. I believe that's probably a full-on Ramita cover there, Hungry Boy. So, and that's that time. That's the subby in his black outfit era with the wings.
Yep. I kind of like that outfit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was all right, but I don't know. I got used to the old look, but yeah, it was pretty cool. At that time, I think he had that crazy fortress floating fortress thingy. Subby. Number 3, again, man. I got
to show one panel. We're talking about that one. I got to show one panel from that comic, Toxic Femininity, at its best here. Yep. Sorry about that, but here we got it. Since we're talking about that issue, we want to. So if you want to show that, so one dart is drowning. So named Marita, she's going to save him. She pulls him out, and then she's like, maybe mouth-to-mouth resuscitation will bring him around. I just can't let him die. I'd rather like to try this again sometime after
he wakes up.
Yeah. Come on, you didn't ask for his consent there. I guess you are saving his life.
Consent.
So,
yeah.
But I thought that was reading that 45 years later, it's like that would never be in a panel these days.
She could get away with it though. A woman would get away with it.
Yeah.
So again, we're just going to look at some covers. Anytime you have anything to stop to talk about the issues, fine. We didn't get to read a lot of them. I didn't get to read a lot of these again, but I am in the process of rereading some of these thanks to you. But yeah, it's just we did this last week. We kind of just looked at some covers.
That was a good issue, and then one scene in that I remember was only because I just reread it. But Daredevil falls from 40 stories, so Reed is experimenting on Wondar. So this is one of the, they're tied together, but you really didn't need to read the previous issue. So Wondar, he absorbs energy and he basically explodes, and it knocks. I don't know why Daredevil was swinging off the Baxter building, but he loses his billy club, the rope, and he falls 40 stories, and he falls through he does the classic going through flag poles and things, and when he gets to the bottom, he's like, I can't believe I just didn't die, and superheroes normally wouldn't say that, so that was well done, I thought. It's like, I can't believe I just fell 40 stories.
Yes, and I'm with you, Hungry Boy. I love me a Gil Kane cover, man. I love it. Another Gil Kane cover here with the Thing and Cap. I do believe this was when they were starting the precursor to the Guardians of the Galaxy team up, where they went into the future or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's coming up. Yeah.
Well, because they had seem to be these early issues had a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. Again, Gerber's still writing the book at the time, but no Gil Kane anymore. We're Zal Buscema territory here, but we got Gil Kane covers, but not Gil Kane interiors. But that's kind of used to happen. They didn't always put the A talent on some of the other books, but hey, no complaint here. I love Sal.
Some good Cap art in that issue,
yeah. And then we got, there you go, the Guardians, folks.
Yeah, because he goes to the future. Yeah, he's in the future now. Yep.
Yeah,
right, in this one.
Yes, and you get to see Cap and Vance Astro together, which is pretty interesting if you know anything about Vance Astro. Which I always like. Yep. Again, this one, these are highly rated. Because this has got the past 2 issues, this guy really liked them. He likes this Gerber stuff. 3.5 thing heads. The next one, number 5, has got 5 thing heads, folks.
Wow.
The reviews on this one, because I'm getting the reviews from that thing, that blue-eyed, ever-loving blue-eyed blog there. So... pretty good stuff. Yeah. Again, Sal Buscema cover, no doubt.
And that's the original Guardians of the Galaxy for those who maybe
Pretty much
only
the
seen
real
MC. I'm sure most people watching here know know both, but yeah. So you've got Charlie 27, Vance Astro, Martinick, and of course
the real Yondu.
Yondu's there. Yep, yeah, that's Yondu's. Very cool in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep.
Yeah, I love Charlie 27 and Yondu. I mean, they sort of had Charlie 27 for a second, and they had them all for a second in one of those.
Oh, that's right. Actually, yes, Stallone wasn't Stallone.
He was Starhawk.
He was Starhawk. Okay. So that was at least they got him in. Yep.
Yeah. So. Then wow, it's funny. The next issue, wow, Starlin cover, but he gives it one thing head.
Wow.
Boy, does not like this one. This next one here, Jim Starlin, Doc Strange cover. How you like them apples, Charlie? But George Tuska interior. I don't talk bad about George Tuska anymore, but wow, you don't want to see the interior of this one. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's not so good. Yep. But not that I can draw, as you say, like I can't draw, but it's not.
I can't draw, but this, I think at the time, look, George was old, man.
But it's it's better than some of the new stuff I've seen. I have to say. So.
Oh yeah. Not a big George, but look, there are people that love the George. So, back to sort of a Kane cover here with probably Esposito or Son on inking him, and there we go with some Valkyrie. I love Valkyrie. I love the Brunhilde Valkyrie. This one, I dedicate this one to the wonderful Purple Valkyrie because she is a Valkyrie of her own type. Who's a Ghost Rider fan out there? The interior art on this one leaves something to be desired. But the Valkyrie issue gets 1.5 star. I mean, 1.5 thing head. Sorry. But the Ghost Rider issue gets 3.
Okay, I remember the Valkyrie issue as a kid. I thought that was pretty. Of course, that's with your memory as a kid reading it. I thought it was pretty good. But it's been years since I didn't get a chance to reread that one. But yeah, I wish we got that character in the comics or in the MCU. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, D-Bud. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a Tuska fan. Now I'm just saying, he's Esposito kind of just traced over people though, so I don't know. Look, Tuska was getting old, buddy. Aren't we all?
Yep.
So you Ghost Rider fans.
Is that Johnny?
Matthew
which
Pounder.
Ghost Riders? Which Ghost Rider? That's the
Johnny Blaze. There was
Johnny Blaze in there.
Yeah. Well, he's the he's the second Ghost Rider because the first one went on a horse. But
that's
Johnny. Danny Ketch didn't come around to the 90s, right?
Yeah. So that's yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Phantom Outside. That's when Valkyrie was kind of, because of Gerber. She was at the time, the male hating feminists we get now. She was kind of that at this point. Believe it or not, I know it was the 70s, but that still happened back then as well. It's not as much, but it happened in comics. Yeah, Matthew Pounder, good to see you. Yeah, Tuska was solid and dependable. He'd been around since the Golden Age, hadn't he? So
Ms. Marvel, Ms. Marvel back on the 70s too was, some of that, I don't would say not angry feminist, but it was, women's lib. And of course the title of the character, Ms. Marvel. So, but I loved reading those issues. I thought they were great. So, some of them, as a kid reading them, and I didn't really notice it that much, but, there were some, hey, let's have a woman who can kick ass. And she was kind of angry in some of those issues, but,
yep. And now we have Black Widow. Bob Brown and Klaus Janson. This is when Chris Claremont got. I mean, I think they changed writers a lot on this thing. One of his earliest works, though. One of the earliest things, I think. Well, right when, not the earliest by any stretch, but it was kind of early for him. So yeah. Anyway, I guess we could just kind of splat and look at anytime you have something to add. Go ahead. We'll just kind of splash through some of the covers without stopping on.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, people get a flavor for all the episodes, and what's fun about this is all the different characters that Ben gets to team up with. So, that's it's kind of like a free for all in terms of the Fantastic Four is kind of you've got your storyline going, but this is kind of like hey, let's team up Ben with Black Widow this month. Let's figure out a way to do it. So it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. JPRPH1, welcome. Good to see you. This was always a weird issue to me, the Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I love the cover though. Like probably
Who's the cover
Kane
on
cover.
that one? Let's say
That's gonna be a Gil Kane cover right there.
Yep, you're right. Yep,
And
yep.
he probably inked by Esposito or Jack Abel or somebody like that. Or I don't even know, or maybe not Abel. Probably Senna. I don't even know.
It says Bob Brown as the interior art on that.
Yeah,
one.
Klaus Janson inked it, which is weird. Bob Brown, and again, he's one of those guys I always think of as a DC artist, but he did some more stuff at that point. Let's see here. Kirby cover. Yes.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Man. Let's go through some of these.
I love that old Iron Man logo too. Yeah, that's classic.
Absolutely. Now let me know if we come across the one that you remember from getting when you were a kid or whatever. Because I'm trying to remember the first one I got. Just like last week, Flash and I were talking. You and I are all talking about. Coincidentally, Flash and I, one of our first memory of Marvel team up was the same damn issue, 38.
That's ridiculous, but it's fun. Yeah. Coincidence. Yep. Should both play the lottery. Yep. Pick the same numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I have these in my collection, but I bought these after. So because I started getting superhero comics in '77. So and I can remember the first issue that I got of this. I'll let you know when it flies across the screen.
There's a Kane cover, Son of Satan.
Yeah.
Morbius. This was this is it right here. This is the first issue one? I remember seeing on the rack. Now again, I may have seen others. This is the first one that stands out, and the reason why it stands out is this dumb villain, the Living Eraser, who was in like a Strange Tales or some other in an old comic book, and he erased people. The Living Eraser, for those in the know about comics artists, should have been called Vince Colletta, but. Yes, because Vince Colletta was the real Living Eraser, but he was like, yes. Oh, okay. Tales to Astonish then there, Phantom Outsider. Thank you. It's just weird that this is the one I remember because of this cover. I bought it, of course, and I don't know if it was the first issue I bought, but I think it might have been. Wow.
Good to see your memory's pretty good. Yep.
It's vague, but. Now, so I'm more certain about that Marvel Team Up 38 for some reason. I don't know why, because that one stands out a little bit more. But I remember buying this one, and I don't know if I bought any issue before that. I've got to remember this thing is like what, 74, 75 or something?
Yeah, it's. Let me look at it. Yep, it's number 15 is. Let's see, it's not a race, so yeah, it's 76, 576.
Okay. So I was 12 years old.
And that cover, so he's erasing. He's erasing the.
He's erasing. He says, "This art sucks. I'm erasing it. This cover sucks, you guys. I'm gonna erase your asses."
So that's a pretty scary power. That's like a Twilight Zone power, right?
Yeah. Yep. The Living Eraser.
So does Ben's arm fall off then there, or what happens?
I don't know, but he's so powerful that he can erase part of the logo of the comics, of Morbius's name.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn powerful.
Right. I'll have to read that one again. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna reread a bunch. I've been reading a bunch of these again. There, look, I was bitching and moaning about how dumb some of that story was. They're pure fun to read, though.
Yeah.
And there's the alternate cover. Now, I bought this one as well. I'm pretty sure. Again, this is where you get into that faded territory. Like, did I buy this one or did I just buy it as a back issue at some point? And I'm confused.
To complete your collection.
Muddled. Yeah, it gets muddled. Another alternate cover. I didn't know you had these.
Well, that's the 30 cents and the 25-cent cover. Or was that
right? Yes.
The
different.
So we were talking about that last week a little bit, I think, too. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thing and Spidey finally. We were talking about this a little bit last week with the Marvel 2 and team up. Some of the more obscure team ups kind of always make me laugh. I mean, Thing and Spidey, that's just kind of a no-brainer. Thing and Iron Man, stuff like that, Thing and the Golem, that's just stuff like that kind of makes me laugh. And
yeah, because the Thing is supposed to be it is kind of like a Golem, right?
Think about it. Now, this one here, I definitely I have more of a memory of buying this one even than that Living Eraser. I bought this one off the stand. Absolutely. And I don't know why, because he's the Scarecrow, for God's sake.
Hey, that is not DC wants their Scarecrow back, or I guess there's no copyright in the name Scarecrow,
You
right?
can't copyright the name Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, right?
Yeah, I mean, they did it. Yeah, but they used to do that. They used to steal each other's damn names and stuff. And again, I don't even. I just remember. God, maybe I bought it because I thought that guy looked like the Human Torch. I can't remember. I was 12.
Yep, it does look like the Torch a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, these alternate covers. That's weird. Kirby cover alert, folks. Kirby cover alert.
Now, I think, what year was that? That might have been one of the first ones I got. I'm trying to remember. Let's check the year on that one. That's number 19. 76. No, I think I got that. Must have gotten that later because I got 77 was my first one. So, but I remember reading that issue. Yep.
Yeah.
Tiger.
Tigra.
I always liked her character. Yep. Yeah. See, we don't get any dog women. We always get cat women, right?
Yep. Only Catwoman.
And you got the claws of the cougar there, right?
Yep. Steve has caused a controversy in for debate and everything, but yes, weird, huh? At this point, I think they were kind of throwing the art chores all over the place. You know, Bill Matlow was writing it. I mean, writing the book for a while, probably. I mean, for a good while and stuff.
That's a Mantlo. That's Mantlo right there. Yep.
Is it?
And then Bushima. I always say his name wrong. How do you say Sal's name correctly?
Buscema. John Buscema
Buscema.
and Sal Buscema. Yeah. So, but yeah. So they were throwing them all over the place. There were sometimes like Tony Isabella was working at DC, but he was freelance and he would come do a Marvel book sometimes. And but that's a Kirby cover, that's for sure. And
Yep.
I was trying to remember that's Tigra, which he changed. So let's see here. Now
Kirby cover next. Yep.
Let's see. Oh, they got another Kirby cover on Liberty Legion.
Yep.
Even Roy Thomas, who's editing, I think because he was the only one with an affinity for writing the Golden Age characters. I don't know if he wrote this one or not, but I mean, he was writing some of this. And this is one of the weirdest Marvel 2-in-1 issues ever. And I love but I am a huge fan of Doc Savage. I love Doc Savage. And should I spoiler it?
Yeah, you can spoil it. It's been
45
years. Well,
yeah. If I remember this story right, and I bought this one off the stands, folks. If I remember it right, I don't think they actually meet in this comic, for real. Have no fear, the man of bronze is here. If I'm remembering it right, this is kind of like they're two stories intertwined, and they made some kind of a
yep. Yeah, the stories
or something.
The stories are parallel. So each panel of the page, if you want to show, be fun to maybe show one.
You got
panel.
it. Yeah, you want to show?
Yeah. Share screen. Yep. Let's share that. Share. There we go. So you've got Doc Savage's 1936, 86 floor of the Empire State Building, headquarters of the man called Doc Savage.
I love it.
And then Benji's working out here, on that. We were talking about that before, how the thing kept getting stronger, right? So he's in the HQ working on the Gizmo Reed made for him. So each page is like a parallel panel, telling the story. And then, so the thing is on this panel, and Doc Savage is here.
I think nobody made Ron Wilson's pencils look better than Pablo Marcos. Fight me on that one, you guys. What do you think, Hungry Boy? What do you think about that? Because these inks really, I mean, this is a really good looking comic, and I like the panel arrangement. I love some of Ron Wilson, but when he had bad inkers, I mean, it wasn't his fault. But a good inker could really sell him. He's like Buscema or somebody. A good inker could work. And I don't know. I kind of like these inks on this. What do you think there, Hungry Boy? He's the artist around here. Well, Steve's an artist too. But,
Yep.
they're all artists except for me. But yes, I read this one forever. And I love, but when Marvel did their Doc Savage, they did the Doc Savage regular comic series, and they usually kind of put really crappy artists on it, to be honest. Then they did a 6 or 8 issue, I think, black and white mag, my Doc Savage, which I have and I loved it. In fact, and then about a year or two ago, I managed to get this Dynamite compilation hardcover of it, all put together. I managed to get it real cheap. And it's just been because that black and white Doc Savage mag. For if you got any Doc Savage fans here, I don't know, there aren't too many of us left, but I loved it.
Yep.
Did you ever see the Doc Savage movie with Ron Ely, made by George Powell in the 70s?
I haven't seen that. No.
Ron Ely plays him, and wow, it's
good or not good or interesting to watch.
Can you see that? Can you see it when I put it up there?
Yep. Oh, we see. Now we got you're back. Yep.
It's kind of cornball. It's sort of like it's 10 years later after the Batman craze, and yet they kind of tried to make it a little bit kind of cornball like Batman.
Yeah.
And it's got a really corny theme song, but it's kind of fun. It's just weird, and it kind of just didn't. But Ron Ely's great as Doc Savage. I think they should have made the movie a little less campy, personally. But it's interesting to see George Powell.
I'll check it out. Yep.
George Powell who made the Time Machine made it. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and I'm flipping through that Doc Savage. We don't want to show too many panels, but
you want to show
the art is actually better towards the end of that issue. I mean, it's really cool art, and the way the characters are going at fighting, and some really nice artwork in that Doc Savage comic. So, and I guess Thor is next here, right? So we got Thor coming up.
Yep. That Thor, probably a Sal cover. Let's see. And you want to go back to that one?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, that's yep. I'm checking my comic-based program, so I'm not a walking encyclopedia. I just have the software up that tells me who did the cover. And you're always right too. I have to say, it's don't doubt Clobberin times when it comes to cover.
I miss it. I get them wrong all the time.
Not very awesome. The program has more mistakes than you do. I checked them up. You were saying, no, that's someone else, and then the program was actually wrong. Going in to check the issue.
Well, some styles are just so easy to.
Yeah, you recognize the style, but
see,
sometimes they're aping Kirby or they're aping someone. Then yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Tough to tell sometimes. Yep. So this one's Ron Wilson on the cover. They say that's a cool cover. I like that.
With Joe Sinnott inking Ron Wilson always looked kind of Buscema-ish to me. But yeah, I love Ron Wilson. Probably drew more of this title than anybody.
It's good art. Yeah.
Yeah, and imagine that. At that time there weren't many black comic book artists in the industry that were known to be, and he was one of them. And I loved him. I know he's done a couple of cons. I'd love to meet Ron Wilson because he did this title for so long. Bill Foster.
Yep.
There you go with Black Goliath, who could have just been called Giant Man. Later he was.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had his own title for a while, and yes, Black Goliath, folks. That's what he was called. But then he just became Giant Man. It was kind of, I don't know. That was a mistake doing that, calling him that.
It should have just been called Goliath.
Yeah, I mean, there was already a Giant Man anyway.
Yeah,
So
why would they do that? Yeah.
Kirby cover alert, folks. Boom, Kirby cover. Hey, there's Steve. Steve quoting Mona, "You're a brick." By the way, yes, his girl, the love interest in that movie was none other than the wonderful Princess Sardala herself, Pamela Hensley, and the Doc Savage movie. So yes. A strange thing seeing Iron Fist drawn by Kirby, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
he was doing a lot of covers back then,
He wasn't. Was he free? Was he at freelancing on the covers? Or what was he? When was this? What were his DC years? He was
in 1970. He left to go to DC for about 4+ years when he created the Fourth World and stuff. And then around 74, 5, somewhere up in there. Don't quote me on the exact number. He went back to Marvel. And he created a lot of stuff for them, and then did tons of covers.
Yeah.
which I love those 70s Marvel covers he did.
That's a great cover there. That's who's 26. That's
Probably Wilson or somebody
Wilson.
like that.
Oh, it's not even listed on the program yet. But yeah, it's a great cover.
Look, I know the ink's got to be Senate, but
the old Nick Fury. Yep.
I don't know why this thing isn't moving. I'm trying to. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Did I go too far? Was that 20?
Okay, that's 27.
I thought I skipped one. Deathlock. God, I love Deathlock.
Yeah, classic.
That's a Kirby cover again. Another Kirby cover. Yeah, I always loved Deathlock. You know, from Astonishing when he started in Astonishing Tales, this version of him. Later, he pops up in 2-in-1 a few times.
Yep.
So Kirby cover. Anytime you got anything to interject or show something, let me know.
I'll let you know. Yep.
That's a Kane cover through and through, and yep. Yeah. He's always brawling with Subby.
Subby's back to his classic costume, which isn't much of a costume, but
no, it's classic non-costume.
Non-costume, yeah. Yeah, but he's always fighting Subby. You're right. Yep.
Always fighting. There he is with Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Steve's proud of us. Say Shang-Chi for him. So
Shang-Chi.
See, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. We get it right. Yep.
Master of Kung Fu. I loved it that you know that
that's a great team
Shang-Chi would team up with superheroes and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack's mama. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for popping in, my dear. I hope you are doing well. Absolutely. So, we'll see here. It is great to see you. What do I do? Did I hit something? Okay, there we go. Yeah. I guess I just take. Oh, again, some of these are alternate covers. It's cool how they did the.
The 35 cent. Yeah, 35 cent.
Some of them had 3 of them.
But this is this is not the era of gazillion alternate covers. Yeah, it was more just the price. Yep. Yep.
This is when Spider-Woman had her head covered. This was like, I think she had all these different weird origins at first.
That's a horrible costume. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better with the hair.
Does not, for some reason, it just does not work. It's like
I mean the mask, yeah, because everything else is the same, but
yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, they were trying something, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
A very different origin at that point.
Now this, I think, is the first issue I ever read of 2-in-1 as a kid. Yeah, because it was my grandfather was bringing, I've told the story before, but bringing comics home from he was a taxi cab dispatcher on the weekends, and he would bring me Richie Rich and, all the Archie and those kind of comics. And then one day he brought home, it was Superboy was in the cover, and was it Adventure Comics? I can't remember now. It was I'm like, Grandpa, I want more of those. Like, this is awesome. I want more superheroes. No more Richie Rich. And so, every weekend, then he'd bring me, back, 2 or 3 comics, and I just treasure all those comics. So
nice.
And that's I have that, as one of the, that's I think, that's ingrained in my memory. So that's got to be the first one, because that's that time period. So I got to we'll share a couple of pictures from that one.
Okay,
it gets turned into a
Spider-Woman thing.
Spider-Woman. That's pretty.
Yeah.
What you do to my girlfriend, Spider-Woman? Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so there's Alicia. Yeah, that's not the girlfriend you want to come home to.
Yeah. Wilson and Mark.
She's got them hide your bums have turned my sweet Alicia into that. And then she's like a spider. Yep. So and then she's got the teeth like that and super strength and going against the spider. And I was like, what the heck is, as a kid, you're reading this. Like, I hope I don't get turned into something that looks like a spider, So, but the art, yeah, it's really good art. And it was a good, scary story, but it was good. Yeah. And yeah, the thing is like, yeah, do I smash Alicia? What do you do, right? When you're fighting.
You're right. She looks terrible with that stupid thing over her head. She's with the hair hanging out. They said a totally different origin.
Yeah,
at that point, Spider-Woman.
What was that? Or I can't remember. What was that origin?
Oh, something to do with Shield. In other words, they totally changed it when they gave her own comic years later.
Oh, and then she had Shield had given her powers, I think. Or
there's a great video. I love. Let's see, I think it's called Comics. Oh, God, I can't remember the name of it. Casualty Comics or
Casualty Comics. Yep.
Casualty Comics. Love that girl. She's really sweet.
Yep.
She is brilliant. She does her research. She's very young, but she researched. She did a Spider Woman video about all of her complicated history and how screwed up it is. And it was really. She's really, really good, and I really love her videos. And she knows her stuff because she really does her research. And she did one. And when you go back and watch that, you're like, wow, she had a crazy early history.
And they keep changing it around to suit whatever they wanted. Yeah, but that was I just remember reading that issue and just that body horror kind of that always scared the heck out of you, especially as a kid too. Yep. When you're a little kid, it's really freaky. Like, I don't want to end up with spider legs on my back or whatever. Yeah. But so that's a good splash. But yeah, diagram die. So it's but that's part of the wackiness of 70s comics too. I mean, but sometimes I think they try to make the comics too serious now too. So it's fun to have some of these crazy kind of issues too, which are maybe don't make sense, but it's got this certain charm to them, I think. So. But,
oh yeah. You gotta have fun. Like I said, you don't have to be ridiculous like Gerber was. Everyone can see that, okay, when I've got it up there. Right?
Yep, we got it. Yep.
But they don't have to be too serious either. You should have fun with them.
Yeah, and especially a team up book like this, you're not usually following a whole long storyline. Like the next issue on this one, obviously continues the story of Alicia as the spider creature, and then she's fighting Spider Girl. And Invisible Woman is here to help now too. So, but it's real creepy. Like she's walking on her legs, and she's got the legs coming out her back. And you can, like when Spider-Man had the extra arms, it was kind of creepy, but you didn't see them coming out of his body. Like they're showing panels where it's coming out of her body. It's just really, it's like a horror combining with a horror comic there too. So,
yep. Yeah, and then of course they continue. That was a saga right there. Marv Wolfman was writing the book at that point, probably. I think. Now I hate when I say that, and I go, no, or did I get it wrong? It may have been some. I know he started writing for 2 and 1. Oh man, I probably got it wrong. Well, I get things wrong, folks. Whatever. Anyway, let's see.
Yeah, so eventually, someone they rescued from Hydra actually cures Alicia. Put her in one of those machines, obviously that cures that kind of stuff, and they bring her back. Obviously, spoiler alert, because they finally married a few years ago in the comics. But yeah,
yes, this was the kind of issue that I would buy it anyway, but I would see him like, who in the hell is Mordred the Mystic? And of course, he was very obscure for Marvel. I mean, he popped up in a couple of. He's about as dopey as Dr. Druid, who he'd also teamed up with.
Yep.
But
Phantom knows who it is.
Well, of course, no, I know who he is, but it's just
I do not remember Mordred the Mystic. I can tell you. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely know who he was, but I would see when I see the issue, I go, why is he teaming up with him?
Yeah.
Well, hello there, Justin Normie. Thank you for popping in. Good to see you. Thank you. So yeah, I was just like, I'd see him and go, why?
Yep.
Now
Raquel's got a good point. Yeah, Raquel's got a good point about it's it's like CGI for kids, or use your imagination when you're reading these old comics.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. It is stuff. Yep. Well, that's and exactly. Number one, comics did so much for children's imaginations back then. You see the art and the story and everything, and it stimulated my imagination. It was one of the things that certainly stimulated my imagination more than anything was comic books. Obviously,
and it helped you learn to read too. I mean, for me too, it helps your vocabulary and reading. And
that's how I learned how to read.
There's a lot of great, it's not all 4-letter, not all short words in there too, right? So and especially back then when they had the editor would kind of explain what words meant sometimes or different things. So that was a lot of fun. Yep.
No, yeah, the editor, whether it was Thomas, remember, they would always, because they knew that their audience was children and was kids, they would try to teach you things. They would tell, they would explain things. And there were always these, the people, remember, the people writing the comics at this time, no matter how even pedestrian or cornball, even the Gerber, writing style was, and a lot of that was coming from editorial, right cornball like Stan did. They were still people who were many of them classically educated and in literature, and many of them, were, and when they would write something in these comics, yes, these silly dopey comics that cost 25 cents and 35 cents, they would often refer to to some pretty, I hate to use the term, but highbrow stuff. But yes, in a silly kids comic, but they did it because those people they're not living in 2020. They weren't kids in 2021. They were kids in a time when they were taught so much more, and they were just they were.
Oh, you learn about mythology, yep, and you and the comics were like, how can a kid afford a $4 comic now, a $5 comic? I mean, what did a can of soda cost back then? I'm guessing 50 cents maybe, or 30 cents.
Not even that.
Not even that, probably, right?
No.
So what was a can? This was a can of soda, basically, 35 cents. I'm trying to remember, but
I can't remember exactly that particular point, but they were a dime or 15 cents or somewhere up in there. Yeah, they were cheaper than that.
Yeah, so it's something
roughly
that you can afford. Yeah.
Right.
But it's something you go to, buy a few comics, you get your candy, you get some soda, and it's today it's what, $3 is the cheapest comic. So, it's they kind of price themselves out of the industry in some ways. Like some people are saying, hey, why don't you put it on cheaper paper and bring the price down and make it more accessible, but things keep getting more and more expensive. So, Jack's mama is headed out. So,
all right, Jack's mama, love to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night and tomorrow. You take care, dear.
Good night.
But yeah, I don't even need $3 comics anymore. They're all like $5 these days. But anyway, I love Nighthawk. So this issue, of course, I do remember. Just because, hey, Nighthawk, and it was the Defenders. I always liked him. Now here's one of the weird, dude. This comic,
Skull Slayer,
an Ernie Chan cover. I always liked those. Skull the Slayer had a very short-lived comic that was it was highly derivative of a lot of the different things you've read from characters like, whether it's Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff. Alaric Harrison, hey there. Good to see you. And there was a fairly derivative comic. It did not last very long, but he lasted long enough for him to get a shot in Marvel 2-in-1.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember reading it, this issue, to be honest with you. I don't know if you do, but
no,
I will reread it soon, though.
Yep. I'm skimming through it right now. It looks like it's Savage Land. Yep.
Yes, except it wasn't. I don't think it was the Savage Land as Marvel's version of it. It was somewhere else. So it was kind of, again, like that,
Like that, yeah. I'm flipping through.
Right.
Flipping through real quick. And, they're... Is that Sauron there? Or is that... I'm talking out loud, sorry. But, there's dinosaurs, and, it's...
Matthew Powell said, Skull was a drag to read. Didn't Skull have pretty crappy art there, Matthew Pounder, if I remember right? Yeah. I didn't buy the series. I've just seen it a million times. Again, it's another one of those things, and I talk about it all the time. When your memory gets foggy on some stuff, you'll see covers to comics that you probably didn't buy back then, but you've seen it so many times because you've sold it or you bagged it and boarded it or what have you, and it'll blend in and become a blur, and you go, oh, I had that, or maybe I didn't have it. Maybe I just thought I have it because I've seen it 100 times. And you really don't mean it. You're not trying to mislead anyone. You go, and then you can't remember. You go, I either had it or just saw it, flipped through it, bagged and boarded it or whatever, sold it to somebody. But I don't know if I bought. Well, I wouldn't have bought that, would I? And it's confusing. But that's what the whole spinner rack time machine's about.
Yeah,
things that I would buy. Sometimes stuff that I wouldn't have bought then.
Yeah, is he kind of like a Doc Savage ripoff a little bit, or
more maybe like a John Carter ripoff in some ways, if even that. He's sort of like a place like Edgar Rice Burroughs' Pellucid, or I don't know. It's just definitely highly derivative. Yeah, very sure. And of course, the thing, you know, it was kind of this was always kind of weird to me when he would team up with people from the Fantastic Four, like he teamed up with
Yeah.
Reed and Sue and Johnny, which is
Well, I
fine.
think Reed came to the rescue in that episode. So it's like, come on, the thing can handle himself, right? So Reed shows up. The art is really cool in this issue, I have to say. So
yeah, I can't even remember who did it, but I know Ernie Chan did that cover. I'm pretty sure. But I usually like Ernie Chan covers. I didn't like did too much of a good job on that one, but yeah. So I think he inked the inside of one of those, and he didn't ink a lot. He was mostly inking Conan stuff at the time. So
it looks like the art changes between artists in this issue. That's sometimes, I'm not sure, but I could be wrong. But sometimes I've seen that happen on books too, where they can't finish an issue, but the style kind of changes in between. You know, especially a book like this, that you could throw some pages to someone else. But yeah, that's a crazy story. Yep.
And this one always got me. I bought this one. You know, I love Daredevil, but see it really teaming up with Matt Murdock on the not really, but you know. But this was actually kind of a funny issue, if I remember right. I vaguely, I know I bought it right off because, you know, I love Daredevil, love Ben, and I'm like, Matt Murdock, huh? Okay.
Yeah. But I love having superheroes in real life. Like I always love, you know, Matt Murdock as, you know, as a lawyer. You know, some of those cases would be really, fun to, you know, good storylines and fun to read. So, and you know, of course, a superhero, yeah, they, you know, what happens when they get arrested or they get into trouble? Who, you know, how does the court deal with them, and how could you actually lock the thing up, right? I mean, if it came to that, yep. So spoiler: Ben is found guilty at the end of the trial, and he's supposed to be get taken away. Yeah, Matt Murdock has lost his case, and the thing has been rotting in jail for years.
There you go. Well, he wouldn't have to worry. Oh, I almost made a pretty off-color joke about prison. Never mind.
Nope.
And by
Can't do that.
And by not doing it, I did it. So, there you go. The second part, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of. I love Daredevil. Let's see here. The Vision.
Yeah.
Let's see here. No, I definitely remember. Pretty sure about that one. I mean, I'm trying to get all of them now, but I'm talking about just like remember grabbing it off the rack
when it came out the rack, right? Yep.
Yep, that one for sure. At this point, I was, you know, and again, this is one I didn't buy because I'm like Brother Voodoo. Yes, I've seen him before. But I'm like Brother Voodoo. This is what, you know, I don't know. There's a very good podcast that I like. I guess they're still going. Where these two guys have decided to review in big time detail, deep dive detail, every single appearance of the Fantastic Four and all of their other, you know, the mags that are joined to them, including, you know, they start out with FF #1. And then when they would get they did Strange Tales. They did it for many years, right? I think it's Fantastic Cast. I think they're still doing it. I haven't listened to them in a while, but I used to download them and listen. And the guys were pretty good at it. They would really do a good job taking the issues apart. And they finally got on. You know, they were doing FF. They did Strange Tales, like I said. Then they got on Marvel 2-in-1, and they were doing it. In other words, they would jump if that month had they would do that month's FFs, then they would do that month's 2-in-1, you know, and so forth.
Yeah.
In order. And they've been doing it for so long, it's been taking many years, as you could imagine, right? And they did a deep dive on, I think I remember listening to one, they did a deep dive on this one. And it was pretty interesting. I'm like, yeah.
They went in depth, yep.
They did it on all of them. So, and it was pretty, and they do some dumb stuff that aggravates me. Like one of the things they do that irritates me, it's pretty cool. They will talk about even the ads and everything in the comic, the ads and all that stuff, which is really cool. But then once in a while, they would always make a point of whining about some of the stuff that would be not necessarily that would be problematic today, if you see what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah,
a lot has changed. It's 1977, dudes. Shut up.
Oh, Keely Chow's here, so hail Keely
Keely
Chow.
Chow, Roll Tide.
What's going on? We're reviewing. We're not reviewing, just talking about Marvel 2-in-1 with our favorite character, the Thing, Benjamin J. Grimm.
Yes, sir. And we're just kind of little show and tell with the covers, a little bit about the series. Cosmic Cube time, folks, not the Tesseract.
Yeah. The cube.
This is a cube, sir. And yeah, the Thing and Cap. I remember. Is this? God, I think this is this the one where they kind of started. They maybe started with Project Pegasus at this point or something, or around this time, or they were kind of leading up to it a little bit. I mean, wasn't the Project Pegasus saga, which we're going to be talking about?
Yeah, because that's in the FF too,
later.
right? That's a crosses over. Yeah.
No, it was mostly the
doesn't
2-in-1.
Mostly 2-in-1.
Yeah.
See, that's where my brain gets muddled. But yeah, I remember reading that.
It was.
Yeah, it does look
like
like
trade.
Yeah, I'm flipping through the issue real quick, but yeah, of course, Captain America's in
Wandar's
this issue.
back in this one. I think they brought Wandar back in this one or something.
Yep, you're right. Yep, Wandar is back. Yep, a little bit different costume, but he's there. Yep.
Yeah, and he was being held at Project Pegasus.
Yeah, they're trying to use his energy or his absorption powers, and they're
Ben did not like it.
Yeah, it's like Uncle Benji's, because he's Wandar is even though he's 25 or whatever, he's only mentally is like basically
still
a young
child.
Young
Ben,
child.
Ben feels for him like a kid.
Yeah. So he's not happy
Uncle
about.
Benji. Yeah. He's protective of Wandar, so of course he and Cap fight.
Yeah, and there's this
hey,
twist
you're
in the
muscle
end.
uncle.
Hail.
Hail, sir. And then there he is again. Man, the Thing, Cap, and Man Thing. This was a weird couple of stories right here.
Yeah.
And this was a weird one. Jeez. And I was buying it pretty much as anytime I could get my hands on it at this point.
Yeah, I love Hercules. So that's the Bob Layton miniseries is one of the classic all times. Now this one I got from Grandpa.
I love the Marvel Hercules.
Off the rack. Yep. So this one I remember. Really? Yeah.
This was a weird one too, wasn't it? If I remember right, this is Captain Marvel one.
Yeah, it's the original Captain. Well, I shouldn't say original. It's Captain Marvel, right? I mean,
well, Marvel's first. Yeah, not the original.
Marvel,
but Marvel's first.
Yeah,
Marvel.
So I'm trying to remember that issue. It's been so long since I read it, but I just remember, that cover's ingrained in me as a kid. It's like, well,
yeah, oh yeah.
You can't shoot at the Thing, right? That's a waste of time. It's like, why do they keep shooting at Superman? It's like, there's a flashback when he remember when Ben, it was FF92, I think, and he got taken away to that planet, and he had to fight.
Right. It's the one with like Torgo.
The gangster movie, yeah, it was with Torgo. Yep, I love those issues. Yeah.
Yes, Kirby. Yeah.
So there's a flashback to Torgo in this.
That's right. Torgo's in this one.
Yep.
Whoa. Can you see it still? You still up?
Yep, got it. Yep, we got it. Yep.
Okay. That's right. Torgo.
Yeah, Torgo's great. Yeah.
I need to reread that one.
Yeah,
Thing Hulk. This was really stupid. This is one of the. It's funny, but if I remember right, this was dumb because wasn't the Thing pissed that they were making a Hulk TV show or something? No, Hulk was pissed that they were making a Hulk TV show.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like going back to that first issue, and they're saying Karen Page offered $1 million to stars with the co-star with the Hulk. So because she was an actress, yeah. So
she was.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's pissed off. He's smashing the TV, and Ben's not so. A little bit out of character there.
One of them was pissed and went to Hollywood to do something. Was Ben pissed or was it Hulk pissed? I can't remember.
Yeah, and then so Ben's trying to get into the studio. He's like, I got an appointment. He's like, do I need some identification? He's like, what do I look like, Fred Flintstone? He's like, I'm the Thing. And here we can show. Well, let's just show that
you got some stuff from it. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun to show. Yep. This is a fun panel. He's kind of being, grumpy Thing here, but he's going to Miracle Pictures in Hollywood. Yep.
Oh, let me put that. I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta remind me to
Yeah,
put
there
it
you go. Oh, yeah, there you go.
up. Yeah. Crappy art.
Yeah, it's not good art, but it's making me laugh. The storyline's like, the name's Ben Grimm. I've got an appointment, Mr. Jusko. It's like, I'm required to ask for some proof of ID. Listen, Cuddles, I didn't sit on the plane all night just to tango with you. And he takes down the guardhouse. Here's my ID. So yeah, I can't. The thing wouldn't do that, right? I mean, come on. Have a nice day. So, and then he meets.
So bad.
He meets
Howard.
Howard the Duck. Yeah. Oh God.
Isn't it weird that
Look how the thing is drawn here. That's a horrible panel.
That was like one of those. It was Alan or Paul, one of the Kupperbergs or whatever. Whoever. I mean, it was just awful. I think. Remember what Marcos? No.
Well,
who was
one of the Kupperberg? One was a writer. Kupperberg was a writer. One was the.
Right. That's right.
Because Paul was the writer. Yeah, because Paul was at our comic book shop that I used to shop at.
That's right. He was a writer.
Got to meet him. Oh, I see him all the time. Actually, it was fun to hang out with. Yep. And he signed a bunch of my Archie comics whenever I'd buy them. I'm like, do you mind signing this? He's like, you're buying it, I'm signing it. He was nice. Yeah. So this
one
is
of Alan was the guy. Well, artist may be a strong term. There's Hawkeye.
Yeah. So, and I guess is that supposed to be? It's not supposed to be Elton John, is it? No. Who the heck is the guy with the cigar? I forgot.
I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's the real Hulk.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's
so stupid.
I don't want to share too many, but that's a fun one to dig up.
Oh my goodness. No, tell me if you're seeing it. So
yep, we're back. Yep.
I never can tell because I got the thing covered. Nancy Street Gang. There you go.
Yeah.
I just don't even know what to say about this issue. But, I bought it. And I bet you bought it too, Phantom Outsider.
Yep.
Let's see here. Mr. Any thoughts on actor Michael Chiklis, who portrayed Ben Grimm, a.k.a. The Thing, in the FF 2005 film? Did he get Ben Grimm right? Oliver, I think he did, character-wise, play him very well. I just thought that look-wise, he didn't have to look for the Ben Grimm, pre-Thing transformation. In other words, he didn't look like the big, big-time athletic jock and stuff, big man on campus type football player stuff. So, like, he just looked like a dumpy old 40-year-old dude or whatever at the time. But once he's in character as Ben, I mean, I have a lot of problems with those movies, but I thought Ben and Johnny were cast as far as in character very perfectly. So,
yeah, I agree with that 100%. And then the thing is too, Chiklis is under the makeup too. So the next time we get the Thing, it's going to be CGI. It's obviously not going to be. Yeah. So with Banner and the Hulk and Ruffalo, they kind of translated some of his performance through. But you really, with the makeup, as much as I didn't like that design of the Thing, even though I have a statue of him and a couple action figures, I think they're going for more of like a human, human kind of look, like, like a bot, instead of having the ridge, but
like Killer Croc.
But but he did a great job. They needed the ridge. I don't know why they did that, but the Chiklis is good. Capturing the essence, and Ben and Johnny and. They were fantastic in that movie together. As that brought that to life, and they're teasing each other.
That movie is at its best when it's them, or at least all of them acting as the Fantastic Four family unit that we love. It's at its worst when it's trying anything else because it has a crappy story. Doctor Doom's terrible, and it's really all that garbage about treating their powers like an affliction and all that trash, and the way they've screwed up the origin. Those movies have a lot of problems. The casting isn't really is one of them for me.
Yeah, other than Ben, I mean, that'd be pretty cool to be able to turn invisible and do force fields or stretch or fly and catch on fire.
Ben's one thing, but
everyone else it's like.
Well, Johnny even said that. Why do you want to cure me? There you go, Jack of Hearts.
Yep.
The great writer Kurt Busiek has this thing on his Twitter page that says, "Jack of Hearts is the greatest costume ever. Fight me," or whatever. I don't know about all that.
I disagree, but it is a cool costume, though.
It's kind of,
It's cool. Yeah. 70s cool. Yep.
Ben Grimm teams up with the astral form of Doctor Strange.
Hmm. Don't remember
This
that
is a
one.
classic.
Yeah.
This is one of the great, and again, Byrne at his best because he's not inking himself, which you should never be allowed to do. It's Sinnott, of course, the great Joe Sinnott inking him on this one. This is probably one of my all-time, even though the story is batshit nuts, the story's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It makes no sense especially if you're someone whose head hurts at time travel stuff. But it's still just a fun. The issue is something irresistible about it.
Yeah, no, that's.
I love it. I do love it. I'm not saying I don't love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm just saying it's very contradictory. It's paradoxical, if you know what I'm saying. But that's one of the great covers of all time. The fact
Oh God, yeah.
When
the thing evolved his look over time too. So
I love it. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the original kind of lumpy. And as a kid, when I first saw that, I was like, "What's going on?" Because you couldn't get back issues back then, really. I mean, and then you had some trades like how the Origins of Marvel Superheroes was like a book that one kid was passing around, and when you got to actually read it, there was, wow, I get to read how Spider-Man got his powers, or the Avengers were formed, or how the Fantastic Four, or because you couldn't just go, there was no digital. So, and if how was I going to go buy, FF number 1, as a kid? So there was really no way to read back issues other than the few trades they had out in the 70s. I mean, there wasn't much. I remember Secret Origins of Superheroes, and it was one, and then it had Secret Origins of Villains. I think, or I'm messing up the title, but
Secret Origins of Supervillains, or
Supervillains, yeah,
or Supervillain Team Up. By the way, I always want to thank Steve Mitchum for proving, because Steve Mitchum is one of my idols. He's one of my favorite people, and one of the people I look up to the most. He's kind of like a living superhero to me. I'm not blowing smoke at him; he really is. So whenever that happens, you need someone like that to at least prove that they're not perfect, that they're flawed in some way and can be wrong about things. So Steve Mitchum is dead wrong about Joe Sinnott. I love him. I'd take a bullet for Steve Mitchum, but he's dead wrong about him. So I like that he points that out once in a while, how wrong he is about Joe Sinnott, because it makes me feel not so inadequate myself. Because as you know, I have inadequacy issues, and I aspire to be like Steve. And I'm not even kidding about that. And so when he can prove the ability to be wrong sometimes, like he's wrong about Joe Sinnott, then it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Because he is such a good friend, he knows I need to feel better about myself sometimes, and so I appreciate him doing that for me. Thank you, Steve.
Well, if you want to show this panel, because Phantom, of course, has an incredible memory. That's a great superpower. So here he's mentioning where Ben there's a cure for Ben, but it would only cure him when he was first turned into the thing. So why would Reed tell him about it? So this panel's kind of cool. It's showing how his hide was changing. It's like your appearance has been changing.
Just want to say hello to
Hi, Sherry.
A new person here. Sherry, hello there. Welcome to Clobberin Times. We appreciate you stopping in. Nice to see you. Sorry about that, bro. Go ahead. I just want to say hello. No. It's a new person.
Welcome. No, that's great. Yeah, I always love to have new viewers to your channel. Yep.
Continue, my friend.
So they're talking about, and I love this as a kid. Like I love this kind of science stuff where they're explaining, you had like a dinosaur hide originally to its present rock-like state, and then he's saying, the latest formula of mine would have cured you as you were years ago, but not now. So right. Ben's looking at the cure there, and so it's Phantom brings up a good point. It's like why tell him? I guess he's saying maybe I'll come up with a cure eventually. But
Steve, you can't prove it, because you'd have to prove it to like thousands and thousands of people who love the man's work, and you're never going to be able to prove it. All you can prove is that you don't like it. That's all you can prove, buddy. Sorry. But again, you don't look. You should not have to be perfect. That's a burden to have to be perfect all the time. So get something wrong once in a while. Just just for humility's purpose, and so you don't have such a strain on you, man. So.
D. Bud Martin saying. FF number 1 was $50 when he first saw it in a comic book store in 1973, and that issue has just skyrocketed in value the last few years. So, yeah, of course, as a kid, mom's not giving me $50, but God, could you imagine being able to buy up some of those issues? Yeah.
There's no proving it. That's silly. I love his work. I love seeing it. You can prove to me that you don't like it. You can't prove anything other than that you don't like it. I mean, that's all there is. It looks wonderful to me. I love what he does. He puts a a clean spin on some artists that are kind of clunky, and he does overpower a little bit some of the artists. But I mean, Byrne is horrible at inking himself. Byrne inking himself looks like ass. Sinan inking himself makes it look like classic Kirby's Fantastic Four. So go ahead.
Well, I'm not getting in the middle of this battle between comic book titans and artists, but I agree with Clobberin. It's like trying to prove that green is better than blue, or there's certain things you just love, or certain things that people love and or don't like. And I've had friends too where you disagree. I love that movie or hated that movie, or I don't really like this character. So, but Steve is saying he'll prove it. And he's going to ruin it for you forever. So,
Not possible.
Clobberin times you've ruined. I should say ruined, but explained some reasoning why you don't like movies. I'm like, that's a good point. Damn it! Why did you bring that up? I enjoyed the movie much better before you logically, described what was wrong in it. So
when I look at, you can't make my eyes go, oh, like this. I love this page right here. Absolutely love it. I mean, it's just beautiful. That's one of my favorite all-time full pages, splash pages I've ever seen. Yeah, I just love it. Pat S, what's up, dude?
Hey, Pat S.
Good to see you, bro. All right, man. So
$50
this is a great issue.
$3.28. Yeah, wow. God,
this is a great issue.
Yeah, no, it's very That's on the must read list. Yep.
The Comic Relief Crusader. What's up, brother? Steve knows I wouldn't talk to him if we were in the same room like this because he could whip my ass. So, I can only pick on him on long distance. I'm cheating. He knows. I hate to do it to him, but yes, we've known each other for almost 40 years, dude. We're old. Anyway.
Don't out his age, right?
Yeah, he doesn't like it when you make him feel old. Dude, you're not old. Claude's old. Anyway. Well, cool. You got more from this one? Oh, yeah. Well, I love this. I always love this page, too.
Yeah, that's a great page. Get whacking himself. And then as a kid seeing that, too, is that thing looking like that. I was like, oh, that's so creepy. But it's actually drawn so well. It's like, and that makes sense, as Reed explains, the thing. Because you also were wondering, too, why was the thing's look always changing when you did finally, get a chance to read, some of the origin issues. It's like, why does he look so lumpy in that first issue? What's going on?
Yes, I met Steve. We met in the nursery. We were at it was before we were in preteen. What was daycare? That's right. We were both 2 years old.
Yeah, so you're 42 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I love it. I love this page right here.
Yeah, it's just
see, this
Byrne is just so fantastic.
Byrne was so much better with ink. And again, Sennett aside, whether you like Sennett or not, Austin, Rubenstein, anybody inking Byrne but John Byrne. And this is coming from a guy who can't. Hungry Boy, full disclosure, because Hungry Boy's an artist and Steve is an artist, and I don't know if we have any other artists here. I always say, I can't draw flies, but I can tell you what looks like garbage. And John Byrne inking himself. Well, early on his early FFs, not as much to a second or third year, but everything after that point, after 86 or so, when Byrne inked himself, it looked like garbage to me. And he was only doing it because he was getting paid for 3 jobs: writer, artist, inker, writer, penciler, inker.
Don't blame him, right? Come on. But that's the story I always tell. Make it quick. But Byrne would show up in my local shop once in a while, and he's at the. I didn't see this in person, but the owner told me about it after. So Byrne's there at the talking to Paul, and his kids come up like, oh, we're looking for some John Byrne issues of X-Men, and of course they don't realize that they're standing next to John Byrne. Before conventions, I guess you don't know someone look like. It's like, well, we have a few of them, and then Paul's like going to have a joke. He's like, yeah, but that Byrne guy, he really stunk, especially that first issue of I guess Iron Fist was his first Marvel work, I think. He's like, that was so horrible, that Iron Fist issue. When he first was the artist, he's like, if you're looking for early Byrne, and Byrne's like, yeah, that was really hard. Like he went along with it. He's like, that was really horrible.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but they were, he was just like trying to come up with something, and the kids had no clue. And Byrne really didn't want to talk to people when he was in the store, or let people recognize him. So the kids were like, never knew that they were standing next to John Byrne when they were looking to buy some issues. And they were ragging on Byrne, and Byrne was ragging on Byrne. Got back in that, it was before cell phones or something. If you had a camera there, that'd have been hysterical. Because most people didn't, back then before the internet too, how would you recognize an artist, right? Unless you went to conventions and met them, or this was early 90s when the 90s when it happened. It's like you wouldn't know. So, but fun Byrne story. Yep.
Yeah, this is great. This is a great issue, though. It was the story doesn't pass the think test really, but it doesn't matter. It was just pure fun, and I love the art. Again, this was outside of the Kane Senate art on the comic. This was probably nothing against some of Ron Wilson's stuff, but Wilson was better when inked by Senate. But everyone was. But this is great.
Yep. So everyone buy that issue.
Yeah, well, I bet everyone here has bought issue 50. Byrne stayed on the book for a while. Another alternate cover. This wasn't by Byrne. I think Perez did one of these. But anyway.
Yep.
This was a good
Prez cover. Prez cover for 50-52. Yep. Oh, we're not seeing the covers now. Yep. You got to share yours again, Clobberin. Yep. Sorry. Yep. I know you're.
Thanks. Tell me if it worked.
Yep. We're on 50. Yep.
Okay. Jesus. Yeah, this is a Perez cover right there.
Yep.
It was Marvel way more than 2 on 1.
Yeah. I picked that one for my background.
Yeah,
I like that cover. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love this. Moon Knight. Yeah. This again when Moon Knight wasn't quite as well, at least when he was popping up in like Defenders and all this other stuff.
God, that one popped up in value. That one's $30 for that issue. Wow. Maybe because Moon Knight's going to be on a TV show. I don't know.
They're called key collectors. Key collectors destroy everything. They actually have these apps for the collectors that just list key issues crap. And I got some of my hardcore collector buddies really get annoyed with the freaking key collectors. And this would be a key because of Moon Knight getting that show that's probably going to be, I don't know. I would love to see a good new Moon Knight show, but it's 2021, folks. So
yep.
Let's go through. Now, this was the beginning of the Project Pegasus saga.
There we
this
go.
was this has been collected. One of the very first trade paperbacks, a compilation trade paperbacks in the 80s. Well, and I have it. I still have it. I still have mine of this. And it has a like $6.95. It was a trade paperback for $6.95, dude, and had all the issues in it. And this was it went on for a while. This is a great, and this was Byrne and Senate. It's it was a great, one of the best stories and sagas at that time.
No, I love it. Definitely read everyone. Read that. Read that
Steve
saga.
Steve, you are obsessed with Senate, dude. We get it. You don't like it. You're wrong. You're wrong. But you're allowed to be wrong here, man. This, if there's any place to be wrong, it's around here. Even I'm wrong on some things. In fact, many things, just not that one. Anyway, I love this. Was of course Quasar, who was not the Crusader, even though he looked like him.
And was he Marvel Boy originally at some point?
Well, no, his costume it was sort of like Marvel Boy. Yeah, the Crusader was.
Yeah.
In that a few years before this, in that FF issue, with the Deathlock. Love it.
Yeah, and that's first appearance. That's that one's $44. Wow, first appearance of Screaming Mimi, Death of Deathlock. God. Well, Screaming Mimi, I guess that's key collectors again.
Whoever
that's
that
her
is.
first. That's from Thunderbolts. Screaming Mimi.
There you go. I never liked Thunderbolts like everyone else did. I remember I read it a few of them, but I didn't stay with it long. I know a lot of people like Thunderbolts. It just wasn't really my bag. And there you go. Bill Foster finally becomes Giant Man. Did they put a key on that one too? Because he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
$7.
Agreed, D-Bud. Is that all? Okay. No, still.
That's all. Yep.
Yep. There's a Byrne cover.
Thundra.
I love
There's a
Thundra.
cool new action figure of Thundra out too for your
I
action
got
figure
that one a
people.
couple years ago.
Yeah.
Came out a few years ago, and I got
Yeah,
that
well,
one.
relatively new. Yeah, relatively
I got a
new.
Remember, I tell you, I ran at Dragon Con. I ran into a lovely lady cosplaying um, Thundra. And
You have a picture?
I could dig one up. I know I probably have some. I've seen her
Yeah,
Facebook,
not tonight,
her
but
Facebook page. I probably took a picture of her. I can't remember, but I know I've seen her on. I followed her on Facebook for years, and she showed those pictures. But when I walked up to her and knew, told her that I liked her costume and knew that she was Thundra, she was shocked because nobody was knowing who she was.
Yeah, it's
Why would they? I guess, right?
Yeah.
Wonder.
There we go. And Phantom Outsider says, yeah, Marvel Boy went crazy, became the Crusader, then Wendell Vaughn got the power bands, started as Marvel Boy and S.H.I.E.L.D., and then became Quasar.
Yep. And but Ben at first, of course, thought he was Crusader. Aquarian. Yeah. There you go. The Project Pegasus saga is just great, man. This is a really great story. Wonder. Yeah, then you didn't see Wonder that much after that.
That's the last issue in the Pegasus.
Yeah, that is right there.
Saga, right? Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah.
And then I don't know if Aquarian really popped up that much again. Let's see here. Phantom Outside. Muslim Uncle. Hey there. Real talk. Do you ever think about the people who looked up to and the people you looked up to, and now you were in their roles and shoes? It made me feel bad for the younger generation. You just had me as an elder. You had me as an elder. Yes, I do. It's good to see you, your Muslim uncle. I guess I haven't really thought about that though. Let's see what. Let's see. Then we got the Thing and Johnny for some reason.
Yep.
Because they don't pal around enough in their own.
Yeah, right.
NFF, so, yeah. This was kind of a funny one.
I love Impossible Man.
Sue me, guys. I love Impossible Man. I know
I agree on that one. Yep.
I think Ambush Bug's sort of a rip off of him in some ways. Not every way. Just I always love this cover here. Like a Perez cover.
That is great. Yeah.
It's like Jerry Bingham or somebody.
Starhawk with that incredibly practical costume.
Yeah, Starhawk has a crazy costume, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like to see that in live action.
Moondragon is a biatch. Yeah. Boy, was she something. Yeah. And here lies Adam Warlock. Sort of, even though he was dead at the time. Yeah. Him.
Silver Surfer #4, first appearance, maybe. I think something like that.
For who? Who?
Him. Her. What was his first?
He was in FF.
Oh no, FF. That was FF.
Fantastic Four or Thor, one of them. But I can't remember the exact issue number.
Well, no, because key collectors are going after that now because they keep.
Of course.
Yeah, they keep thinking.
I think they're going to use Warlock again in the movies.
I always like the character Stingray. I always like
it's a pretty good costume.
Scientist,
it's like a nobody character that they never really messed with again. Yeah. Triton. I think Jerry Bingham did a couple of these issues, which was weird. He didn't do a lot of stuff.
I wonder if those were tied together with Undersea Adventures and then.
Yes, they were. That was
those were.
I have some hardcovers. These little smaller hardcovers that I was getting at like Barnes and Noble. Books A Million for like they were on sale they finally went on sale for like $4 and $5. Nice little thin hardcovers of some of these things, including this one's in one of them, and then the Serpent Crown Affair, which is this one, and this one here is in it, compiled in a nice little hardcover thingies. In addition to having the issues, of course. Hyperion.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Phantom's got. He said Aquarian used his power as null field to close the Nth Man out of the 616 universe. So Nth Man, wasn't he that he was like a martial arts, kind of like a ninja fighter? I think I've read every issue of the Nth Man, but
was that from New Universe?
I don't think Nth Man was in the 616 universe. I guess the Phantom. Yeah, I gotta dig that out again. But thank you for that, Phantom.
You mean that his own comic? You mean?
Yeah. There was an Nth Man comic book. Yeah.
I never
but he wasn't in the 616. I guess Aquarian, took him out of the universe. I guess so. But thank you for that, Phantom. I'll have to look that up again.
In the 80s, I stopped because of Jim Shooter. I stopped reading a bunch of Marvel books. Hyperion. Angel. I always hated that when a Toys R Us shopping spree ad.
Yeah, ruin our covers.
Oh, really did, man. Oh, it's annoying.
It doesn't even look good too. It's like that logo is just so
No,
horrible.
it's crappy. And there we got the Guardians again. They started repeating
Back,
themselves
yep.
a little bit. Yeah. The Thing and
Mystery guest.
yep, I can't remember
Who was
for the
it?
life of me.
I'll tell you who was in that one. I'll dig it
Got
up.
me. Maybe somebody remembers.
Because we got to know, as they say. Yep.
Gots to know. I know. I remember the cover. I just can't tell you who's in it. Probably bought it at some point.
Is that Paste Pot Pete with that gun? No.
It looks like is it no because the hand. Look at the hand.
Yeah.
It was white dude. So.
Who was in this one?
I could find out.
No, I'm looking at Rawhide Kid is in this.
That's issue number
The
7.
power. Here we go. We'll just share the screen. I know we're share the screen real quick. There you go. By the power, face the power of shell shock.
Who did he team up with in this one?
I don't know. And it's looks like some Western characters, cowboy characters there.
What is she?
FF Annual number 5. Yep. The Psycho Mint.
What issue of 2 and 1 is that?
Oh, this is the one with the mystery issue. This was
I know, but what number is it?
Yeah, I'm forgetting now. What number was that? That was where are we? Sorry, guys.
I'll find it. If you just give me the issue number, I can get it.
Well, it was the one we were just talking about. So that was
I'll find it. Number 70.
70, yep.
All right, I'll tell you.
There we go. Yep, 70, yep. Shell Shock and Psycho. They're talking about Psycho Man in this panel, yep.
Yeah. Oh, more of the it's that Yancey Street thing again, gang again, or something like that. They're in it, so it's not really a team up.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it didn't make an impression on us. So, yeah. More Yancey Street stuff. Yeah.
I think I bought it, but I don't know.
Ben getting beaten up. I got to ditch Grandma. Here comes Alicia. So, yep. Probably not a memorable issue. Yeah.
No. I mean, that's the thing. It just kind of blends. The covers blur, like we talked about before. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the weird part about it is the art is by Mike Nasser and Gene Day. For them to be doing art on it at that time, Gene Day was not too far from the time he passed, and Mike Nasser moved out of the country after being an Adams rip for DC most of the time. So it's weird. Anyway.
Oh, there we go. Got it. Yep, you're back. Yep.
Cool. Let's see here. Mr. Fantastic again. Let's see here. The Inhumans.
There we go.
We're getting Clobberin. Oh my goodness. Wow. See, but Shooter didn't erase everyone. Actually, Shooter did erase people all the time because he put artists who erase things, including Vince Coletta. So he actually did. Shooter wasn't an artist, but he hired some butcher inkers like Vince Coletta.
Quasar's back. Yep.
Yeah. And I think I'm probably dumped out at this point. Wasn't buying it as much. Yes, Puppet Master, folks. That's a nice Perez cover.
That's cool. Yep.
Iceman.
And the Ringmaster. That's one of my favorite issues of the Hulk. Has the Ringmaster in it. Hulk 217. It's a classic issue of the Ringmaster. Just an aside. Yep.
Wow, this has a backup story.
The Howling Commandos.
With Ben Grimm when he was with the Howling Commandos there. Yes, Hungry Boy. Nasser definitely was. I mean, he was Mike Netzer. They also known as. Steve mentioned Vince Coletta was once referred to by the great Gil Kane as DC Comics' first sanctioned abortionist. I heard him say it at a con. But Nasser, yeah, he was weird. He did a lot of Adams Rip stuff. Anyway, where oh, okay.
Man thing.
Man thing. Yeah, I can't remember if I bought this one or not, but if I didn't, now I want it because of the Howling Commandos thing.
Yeah.
Wonder
$4.
Man. And now I love me some Wonder Man.
Do you like that costume or?
You know, I got used to it. I wasn't big on that costume. I like the old green one.
Yep. Yeah, I just didn't like that jacket. Just didn't fit for me. It didn't fit on a superhero.
Yes, Steve mentioned there were two of them. We showed a couple of the covers of the Yancey Street Gang one. Yeah.
So DeFalco's writing these issues right
That's
now.
true, Hungry Boy. He did try to. Sorry. Shooter did some pencil layouts a couple of times. That's true.
Oh, he tried to do some artwork. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you know, when he started writing comics when he was 13 years old.
Yeah, he did get some
Legion.
He did get some stories published really when he was really young, right?
Yeah, and Kurt Swan said it was one of his easiest gigs because he said this young kid that they had writing the scripts would send these scripts and he would send a bunch of sketched out pages that he just wanted me to trace over and stuff. And of course, he did his own art on it. But it's like weird, but okay.
But the layout was there for the layout was there. Yeah,
Jim Shooter was thorough. If you've ever seen an Alan Moore comic strip, that's just insane. But Shooters were thorough. Blue Diamond, this was silly, and the art this time really wasn't making me happy. I like Wilson, but man, there's Ghost Rider again.
And the Sky Cycle, I love that Sky Cycle. Yeah,
you have that size. You have that Sky Cycle, yeah,
and you do too, right?
I think I showed it to you. Yeah.
Yep. Or we found the character. I don't know if you knew where the Sky Cycle was, right? Yeah.
Right.
We found the thing.
Oh, no, I think I found this. I think it was one of those accessories.
Yep.
I think, but my memory.
Yep.
Subby and MODOK, yay. Those stupid ads again. Those dumb ads with win a Columbia 10-speed racer Formula 10. Eat it. Don't put that.
I had this issue as a kid. That freaked me out too. It was like
the thing getting uglier.
Getting uglier. Virus X. Yeah. It's like I think you're pretty handsome before with your rocks like that. Yeah. I don't remember what happened. What was causing that? Was like some virus or something that was going through, or I trying to remember what happened.
I do not know. I do not remember at any rate if I did read it.
Yeah.
It's all blurring together.
I read that one. Read that as a kid and it was just like, oh God, what's happening?
Yeah. Another damn 10-speed racer ad on the top there.
Yep.
I used to hate those.
The Columbia months they were doing the Columbia, the Toys R Us was only a few months, but Columbia was like forever. It seemed
for 2 or 3 months in a row so far.
They had Columbia. But
Thing in Alpha Flight, Thing in Spider-Woman, plus the Final Fate of Giant Man. This is when they were doing a backup of Bill Foster. Yeah. Whoa, alternate cover. This was actually a really good issue. I thought kind of fun, kind of well written, offbeat,
man, yep.
Offbeat, if you will, with Sandman. Actually, this is that phase where Sandman started being good again, or he started being good, and became like a nice enough guy. And of course, it had the Impossible Man thing, a little backup thing in there.
Yep.
So. Let's see. We'll get through these quicker, folks. We know we've been here a while.
Yeah, been here. Yeah, we had so much fun that we talk about the issues and can't cover the later ones. That's all right.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. We drag in here, but we just like looking at these. Look, I could look at. I've said it many times. I can look. Oh, that's cool, Steve. Don't worry about it, brother. I can look at these covers and talk about this thing all day. You know how we are. So sorry about that. We'll try to go quicker. She-Hulk sucks. Sorry, Again, this is when nobody liked She-Hulk. No one remembers that because Byrne, took over. This was from, she had her first series with Savage She-Hulk, and her book lasts 20-something issues, and it got canceled, and no one gave a crap. He brought her back. He made her sexy, granted, and all that stuff, and he broke the fourth wall, and the comic was popular. Byrne did make She-Hulk popular, but it was once said that nobody loves She-Hulk more than John Byrne. Because he put her in Avengers and then FF. And drew her in FF. Anyway,
That's Kupperberg on the issue on the art. Yep. Alan Kupperberg.
Alan, Ben and Johnny again teaming up for some reason. Ben and Spidey.
I like that cover. Yep.
Is that one of those weirdo Ed Hannigan covers or something? I can't tell. Now, if I remember correctly, that's not Batman ears. That's the Sphinx or somebody like that.
Yep. They had fun with that. Yep.
Started thinking, can't be you, Jocasta.
Yeah.
And Machine Man's on there.
I love Machine Man.
Yep. Machine Man. Let's see here. We're almost there, though, folks. We're almost in. This was I always thought this was a dopey cover, but I do love how Fist. They were really getting lax in their covers. This is Shooter. I'm telling you, folks. He was a hack. At that point, we're getting there. We're getting the ROM there, buddy. Living Mummy. I'm going, why? But okay. He hadn't even been seen forever. He hadn't had his own comic forever, Living Mummy, but they just stuck him in there.
Drag him out. Yep.
This was a pretty interesting issue. Let's see here. The annuals are on here, right?
Yep, we got the annuals too. Yep.
Okay.
Thing in Iron Man.
Iron Man. We're getting close to. This was just a weird one. Isn't this the one? Yeah, Franklin Richards.
Yeah. Yep. So this whole run I'd bought.
Anakin.
I was actually going to the store and buying these at that point. There you go. Thing in Rom. Number 99. God, I don't remember what the storyline. I've read this years ago, but I'm trying to remember what the storyline was. On that one, they got to be fighting the IRS.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, and this was a really interesting issue. 100, the Thing and Ben Grimm, the final issue of the regular numbering series. We got some annuals, but wow, folks, wow.
That would freak me out when I saw that cover. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
It was a freaky issue. Yeah, this was.
Like, and that was a double size for $1. And how many pages was that one? That was, and it recaps, when Thing's fighting the Thing.
I don't know.
In episode 50. And then
yes, it does. Alternate future thingy.
And then he turns back to a human, and the other Thing turns human. So it's the original Thing. I'm trying to explain it.
Ain't nothing like the real Thing.
It's a freaky time travel
right
episode, and it's really really great. And Galactus shows up in a flashback of what's happening here in this future issue. But yeah, definitely, it's a trip. I'd pick this one up, and Red Skull makes an appearance. Yahtzees are in there. So
Kirby cover.
So it's crazy. Yep.
Kirby cover. Some Starlin.
Yep.
Let's see here. I always like this one because, Nova, of course. I love Nova, and it's the only time he got to team up with Ben. And at the time, man, I was just Richard Rider Nova crazy. I loved him. So yeah, this was a really good one. Gravitron. I don't know if this is his first appearance or not. I can't remember.
Check.
Is this Gravitron's first appearance?
Check. Let's see. That's annual number 4.
If so, it's astronomical in price, probably.
It doesn't say. No, it's not. It's $6. So
it's it's the first time I remember seeing him. He may have been in something else. But I guess I could look, huh?
I don't think. Well, usually it lists in my program. It says it doesn't list any. Yeah, you always list first appearances. It doesn't say it. So that's Jim Craig is the artist, not the hockey player for the U.S. Olympic team.
Not him. Not him.
Phantom, of course. Yep. Avengers 158. First Gravitron.
First Gravitron. There you go.
Thank you, Phantom.
Because I don't know what. I can't remember if I read I can't remember if I have 158 anymore.
I wonder what that one's worth. Let me check real quick.
Then this annual, again, this Marvel comic could be worth $2,500 to you.
It wasn't worth that much to
It
me.
ain't worth that much now. This was interesting. The American Eagle one, wasn't Wyatt Wadenfoot in? Yeah, Wyatt Wadenfoot was in this one. Oh, that's right. Does have a Kirby cut. Thank you. Now I'm seeing it in my head, Phantom Outsider. And I love it when you come up with the issue numbers, because I can't remember an issue number to save my life or Mark's life. And now finally, folks, the big one.
Oh, the big one, the big kahuna.
This
we
one
got to
right
show
here.
I know it's late, but we got to show a few
Sure.
pictures from that one.
What a story. In fact, I need to reread this one tonight.
I have multiple versions of that. Of course, now it's disappearing because I'm. Yeah, it's doing the invisible. It's doing the invisible woman on me. So let's see if that'll. Well, you get the idea. I own a lot of copies of this issue.
How many copies do you have of this one?
Like 5 or 6, I think. I keep buying them.
Ooh,
but
it's flashing.
It's not expensive, but
no.
But yeah, it's gonna. Well, that's
all right. They can see it.
You know that that I have that issue. Yeah. So let me go in and this. Let's see. I'll share the screen here. Let's go share. And this, I tried to draw it too. So I have a when you show this one, I did a copy of this for art class or whatever. I kind of like tried to draw my own version of the thing there, and that's kind of like some of the. I'm looking at my statue of the thing too, the Bowen. I think it's kind of. It's kind of Kirby-esque, and it's I love that panel. And so
that's
basically,
a great splash page.
Yeah, and Alicia, of course, is the artist modeling Ben, but the storyline is it's a simple story, but the champion of the universe is an elder of the universe, and he's going through the galaxy looking for a fight, basically. So he comes to Earth, and he's checking to see if Ben could be one of the combatants. And of course they bamf everyone, teleport everyone to like an arena where they can fight, and people can't get out of the arena. Let me just minimize. I don't want to show too many pages there, and let me just so then I'll skip on my other, just so we don't get let me flip through while I'm off the screen here. And so finally they get all the heroes back together. Let's see if it's gonna go. Come on, program, go full screen.
Phantom Outsider, dude, I actually do agree with that point, even though I love the story.
Probably, yep. Probably wouldn't have lost like that, but try not to show. Let's see, one page. Sometimes these comic book program, on your computer, it's kind of wonky the way it always fights you whenever you're trying to move it. So let me go to some of the later panels just so we can see. Well, here's the champion.
The champion.
So he's kind of reminded me of the Predator in some way. Not exactly, but just that he's huge. The guy, these are all the other heroes, and he's dwarfing all the other heroes. Let's see. So let's go to and so basically they're fighting for the world, the survival of the world there. So they're training, and they're going up against some robots, and they're practicing. So the whole world knows about it. So that's what was cool too. So everyone knew about this this fight that was coming up. Who will be the next champion of the universe? And they've got all the heroes the heroes listed there. So that was it was something that was taking place. Quote unquote in the real world that everyone knew about. So they had Madison Square Garden, or was it Madison Square Garden? Madison Square Garden. Yep. And you can buy tickets, and everyone's watching. Earth Heroes versus Alien Champ. So it's kind of a Rocky type send off or setup. And so here's Thor as in the boxing trunks,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got Thor there, and then you couldn't use. I guess he disqualifies the Hulk gets disqualified, I guess, for using his losing his mind, because he said he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight a beast. He he's wants to fight. Fight a real warrior. So let's go.
Yeah. Hulk's more like an animal to him.
Yeah. So when Hulk loses his control there, at this point, I guess Banner had been able to control the Hulk. So let me just go through a few of the, so basically everyone's losing. The Hulk gets disqualified. Thor loses. Let's see, and everyone's losing, and then it's up to the Thing. So you think that the Hulk, originally you think the Hulk's going to win. I love this splash panel. That's so good. That panel, or that page, excuse me.
Yeah.
That lower panel is just great. And so he's the Thing is getting ready to fight the champion. And this is probably some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best pages in that I've ever read in a comic, with just in terms of the fight and not giving up and never surrendering. So that's at the end there, Ben's getting the crap beat out of him. It's not looking good for the Earth. He's just getting totally destroyed by the champion here. And let's so we don't show too many pages in a row. So finally, Ben gets knocked out and the bell rings, and then this is the ultimate panel. Then he says, "You didn't really beat me. Y'all never beat me. I'm just stupid and too stupid and ugly to know when to quit." So he's like crawling back here. You only won on technicality. I mean, it's just so then the champion, realizes what a great fighter Ben is, and says, "I could never beat you. I know that. Yep, I could crush your bones and break your body, but never conquer your spirit. Any world that could spawn one such as you is truly the worthiest of all. I sense that someday my people will battle yours for the total supremacy of the cosmos. That will be in the eons to come, and what a glorious competition it shall be." And of course, then he leaves. The Earth is saved, and then Ben can't even stand up anymore. So that's the how it ends. But God, I love that. I love that writing. I love his character. So he's not the strongest, but he's got the biggest heart there is. So just a fantastic issue.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
Nope, it was great. And wasn't it? Let's see here. Didn't this issue here? Seeing it yet? No. Are you seeing it? Or?
Yep. We got 96. Yep.
I think this was the follow-up issue of Ben's recovery.
Yep. That's the aftermath. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the annual came out and they had a few more issues left. Yep. Before 100. Yep. So everyone's coming to wish him well. Yep. And he's cranky, and he's cranky as Ben should be.
Of course.
When he's in the hospital. Yeah, he's not a happy guy, camper.
And wackiness ensues. So yeah. But
Phantom saying, yeah, Colossus tried his best, that's for sure. Yep. And he was actually a young hero, and then they actually talk about that. So why Colossus couldn't get it done. Yep. Yep,
absolutely. Well, I think we talked a little bit. Well, we'll do what we were supposed to do, just like we did last week.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about Marvel 2-in-1, and I appreciate hanging within all of you hung out with us to listen to us go on about it. One of just so much fun just to walk down that memory lane and look at those covers and talk a little bit about it. And I had a blast doing it, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Yep. Hope you guys all enjoyed it out there. And it's one of the classic runs. And then it continues, and Ben gets his own comic, The Thing. And that's a lot of Byrne writing on that one, I think, right? And the Thing comic.
Yes.
Yep.
they dropped it so they could give him his own title. The Thing. Byrne actually wrote the first issue, did the cover. I don't think he didn't do the interior, but he did the cover and wrote the first issue. I think he wrote a couple of issues of it, but and then it was like 36 issues, and I didn't really like that title that much, but it's neither here to there. And then they had a reprint series of Marvel 201 for they reprinted. Actually, one back. I think they reprinted the issue that you got behind you. The on the right there with the Avengers and stuff.
Okay.
Then they did a few years ago, before they brought back the Fantastic Four, there was this terrible, in my opinion, revival of the Chip Zdarsky crap where they called it Marvel 2-in-1, and it was Ben and Johnny and Doc Doom. So not my bag, baby, as they say.
That was a later one. Yep.
It was 2016, 17 or somewhere up in there.
Yep. Pretty recent.
So, yeah. But anyway, folks, I appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight. You've all been fantastic. Phantom, as always, a pleasure. Appreciate you, man. Matthew Pounder, Hungry Boy Buddy. It's so good to see you. The great Steve Mitchum. Our good buddy Chris Persia. I hope you're getting some rest there, Boone. I know you had a busy day, but we appreciate you popping in. D. Bud Martin, bro. Who else came in?
Raquel was here, number one.
Raquel, the wonderful number one. Love you, Raquel. Oliver Belmonte. Thank you for being here. Apollome's Minion. Someone named Sherry. Sherry was always nice to see a lady pop in. Pat S, buddy. Good to see you. Again. If I missed anyone, I am sorry. It's the way it goes. Jack's Mama was here earlier.
Yep.
So let's see here. Wednesday night, I will be doing some kind of open geek foolishness. I think what I'll be doing is it'll be partially open geek, and I'll also be kind of going back to my, a little bit of a cleanup on aisle 12. So in other words, of my of my Spinnerack time machine, a little bit of a stream where I talk a little bit more in depth about it, plus whatever else goes on. And there'll be a Global Geek Gang Thursday, and of course Saturday, as always, Saturday night Star Trek, starting the 3rd season this coming Saturday night, and we are looking forward to it. Thank you, everyone who hung out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. I think Alaric Harrelson popped in as well. Always just great to see everyone who did pop in. Next week, a week from tonight, on Monday Night Mark C. Comic Talk at a special early time. I don't know if you're still listening or listening on a replay later, Mr. J-Man. But Mr. J-Man, and I was just pleased. I was so honored to be here. I've had him on my channel, and I was honored to be on his channel last Friday night. Great fellow. And he will be joining me for DC Comics Presents. That'll be part 5, chapter 5 in the great comic book team-up series. And I'm looking forward to that. He is a great fellow. They will be talking some Superman teaming up with characters and stuff like that. And so he loves Superman as I do, as many of us do. And it's going to be 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, so 7 his time, because he's a man who has to get out of there early. So we thought I would do a special time for him because he is a great bloke. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. As always, big shout out to the great Stone Loki for this amazing intro. I know it's not called an outro, it's an extra. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's what it is. Have a great night, my friends. I forgot to get you to plug your channel, damn it. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. No, everyone here is probably sub, but no worries, no worries.
Just I'm supposed to do that.
No.
Good night, Sherry. I forgot.
Night,
everyone, did you put the link in?
I did put the link in. Yep. Well, sub to Clobberin Time, sub to me.
Yes.
And we're doing a Sunday night show, Sunday Night Geekery. We've been doing that. And Fortnite, maybe we'll get Clobby on Fortnite one of these nights again soon with Dadman Walking and Mrs. Dadman. And so look for that on my channel. And Got some tour videos coming up, and all good. But yeah, no worries, Clobberin. That's
Dude,
okay.
you gotta help me remember this stuff.
No, that's okay. Just
Well, thanks,
appreciate
bro.
being on here. Appreciate being on here, and
All right,
I'm sure
man.
everyone here is sub to both of us. But yeah, just appreciate it, and
Yeah.
roll that Stone Loki outro again. That's no worries.
Nah, no
Thanks,
biggie.
everyone.
They've seen it. Thank you all so much. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone. Have a great night.
Later.